Uh-oh. We so live right now. I'm so live. Chat is so popping. Microphone is working. No tech. I'm turning off my phone right now so it doesn't go off 15 times while we're streaming. Hello everybody. Live coming to you on a Tuesday with a stupid TikTok topic, which I am excited about, kind of. The person we're talking about is very stupid, and I do fear I'm going to wind up losing brain cells, but that's okay. I'm going to get through this with all of you. Sorry, I'm literally spitting. I'm just that excited. This is such a stupid topic, actually. I genuinely think that this guy is, well, I don't know how many times I can say stupid before it becomes repetitive. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Matt Matthews and his frankly unhinged pronoun rant that he just unprompted went on because someone dared to say the word them in front of him. If you don't know who this guy is, I swear to God, neither did I, but he's more popular than I am. So big TikTok guy, big YouTube guy, I guess. He's known for being like an openly gay Southern kind of guy who just lives on a farm with his husband or whatever. But I guess he really just needed to take a couple minutes out of his day to let everybody know he's only okay with some of the letters in the Alphabet Mafia. So we kind of have a lot going on because it seems like a very simple topic. It's literally just a little clip, and then we're going to look at people's reactions to it. But it kind of says a lot about like a very specific kind of, can I say white gay, that truly is an op. There's a lot of men like Matt Matthews, and these people are ops. You should never ever confuse him or his grift for anything else. So yeah, I feel like I have a little bit of an aside, but he does this really cringe AAVE spin on his Southern accent, and I'm like, now listen here, I'm a Southern boy as well, and if you really think you're gonna pull one over on me, it changes very sharply depending on who he's talking to, and I find that to be cringe as well. But anyways, I'm here to complain. As you see, I'm coming into this heated. Someone said, oh no, pronouns are so scary. Yeah, we're going to talk about how ridiculous this is, because as we all know, everyone uses pronouns all the time. How many pronouns have I probably said in just the few minutes I've been talking to you right now? Matt Matthews was over here using pronouns to talk about how much he doesn't like pronouns. Also, if his name is Matt Matthews, is his name Matthew Matthews? But anyways, that's not important. It's truly not important. Someone said, yay, complaining. Yeah, exactly. Someone said, haven't we learned that literally every human has pronouns in first grade? I guess some of us missed that class. And then also, we're going to, unfortunately, look at the reactions of people outside the community, if you will, talking about how they love people like Matt because these are the kinds of old school gays who have their head on straight and aren't playing into this pronoun nonsense. And I just... how did we learn nothing from Blair White is what I have to ask. But what's kind of fascinating about this person is I feel like we're catching him in the very beginning of his pivot into, well, nonsense, because like he's doing this, going mildly viral for that. He has like this WWE appearance announced, and I'm like, we're watching the birth of a grifter. Somebody who has made a lot of money since he blew up during the pandemic and is now realizing there's another angle leaning into this transphobia that is unfortunately plaguing everything from legislature to pop culture discourse. And he really thinks that that's going to work out for him. And maybe it will, but not in a way that I would consider success. But anyways, that's a little bit of a preview on my Matt Matthews rant, honestly, that we're going to go in a bit here. If you're new to the stream, hi and welcome. I do all my streams the same way. If you're wondering what's going on right now, the first 30 minutes or so are exactly what you're getting now, which is literally just a yap session. Call me yap views, the way I just be talking. And then around the 30-minute mark, that's when we get into today's topic. We will be talking about everything I just ranted about for the past 5 minutes. So look forward to that in a little bit here. But yeah, until then, I'm just here to chill, baby. It's been a good day. I'm actually happy because I stepped outside. I try to go outside before every stream just to remind myself that there's a world outside of the internet. It's very useful. And The temperature was in the 60s. I almost want to start singing For the First Time in Forever from Frozen. I think that's from Frozen. For the first time in forever, I stepped outside and the temperature was in the 60s Fahrenheit, which for those of you using other terms, that would be 20 degrees Celsius. It was finally below 20 degrees Celsius outside, and it was so beautiful. And by below, I mean it was exactly 68, but I was happy with it. I don't want to like get excited prematurely because I know it can just as easily switch back and we can get another week of excruciating feels like 103 degrees. But I was just happy to feel some cool air on my face for the first time in what genuinely felt like forever. Someone said autumn is upon us. Yes, please. I need it so badly. I'm genuinely tired of this hot weather, man. It's not cute for me anyway. Maybe some of y'all are having fun, but it didn't really seem like it. It doesn't really seem like anybody's been enjoying this. Someone said for a minute, I thought this was going to be about Red Leaf Ranch when you said K farmers, and I was so sad, but I'm glad we're safe. I love them. Yeah, don't worry. We're only here to drag one dude, not your fave, hopefully. I mean, there's a minuscule chance that some of you may like this person, but I kind of doubt it. We shall see. Someone said, who were we talking about? Matt Matthews. I did a whole rant. Just you wait. We'll dig in. Someone said, yay, I'm not late. I was in another chat and not feeling the vibe. Okay, I can't speak to the vibes in other chats, but I can say this. Typically, the vibe in my chat is immaculate. It's a group effort. It's me on point. It's mods on point. It's chat on point, usually. I mean, sometimes weird things happen, but that's usually other people coming into the space without my knowledge. But anyways, yeah, I feel like you should have a much better vibe here. Don't worry. Or maybe my vibes are equally rancid and I'm just completely unaware of it. But I'm trying to have a nice space over here, okay? I think vibes are very important because you have to, like, how to word this? Streaming can be a very miserable activity. And frankly, I don't want to spend hours of my life talking to a bunch of loser weirdos. Not even for money. Not even for money. So my MO is to just indiscriminately ban all loser weirdos without warning and results in a chat full of cool people with good vibes. So if you are a contributor to the D'Angelo chat, thank you so much. And even if you're just, you know, viewing it, you're not hopping in, we appreciate the vibes. But yeah, I don't want that for me. I don't want that to be my journey. Someone said try being an influencer for a day. Try being an influencer for a day. It's not as easy as it seems. These is jokes. Many parts of this job are incredibly easy. Someone said, fine, I'll leave. Nah. Here's the thing. You could be a loser or you could be a weirdo in my chat. Both of those are fine, but you can't be a loser weirdo. That is a very specific combination of energy that is just like, brother, ugh, you know? It's a no for me. I'm a loser sometimes, and I'm a weirdo all the time. But I really try, especially nowadays, to live my life in a way that's not giving loser weirdo. Reading chat. Someone said, I thought this was the other transphobic former looking comedian dude. They're multiplying. Bro, every day it's somebody new who is just trying to get on my nerves. But you know what the crazy thing is, though? I find that people like this are nowhere near as edgy as they think they are. Because I think the assumption is like you go on an obviously transphobic, anti-they, them, bioessentialist rant on a podcast somewhere, and I, as a non-binary person, am supposed to like gasp and clutch my pearls and stuff. But I'm mostly just like, you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real. That's how it makes me feel. I get offended insofar as we are seeing a national and indeed even international pushback against trans rights that people like this are playing into. Yes, that is upsetting. But they're not doing it in a way that's half as interesting as they think. It's unfortunate. Someone says, D'Angelo, is it okay to have your me on my island? Yes, I am already a me on a couple other islands. If you're referring to Tomodachi Life, I think. I know my sister has me on her Tomodachi Life, which I'm happy about. So feel free to add me. In fact, if you want a reference, why did I say reference? Like it had 3 syllables. If you want a reference for my me, or at least the one that my sister created for me, I will happily show it to you because I thought she did amazing. She even went in and did like the custom thingy thing to like add my piercings. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find this picture. It was so good. So good. Dang, all I'm seeing is thumbnails. How many thumbnails have I uploaded, chat? Oh, okay, here we go. Here is me in Tomodachi Life. This is before I think I changed my glasses, but yeah, you've got everything from, oh, I guess my brows are not that dark anymore. Somebody let me near bleach, and so some things have changed a little bit, but yeah, switch it up, do your own take. I'm happy to be a me. I used to use a me as my actual profile picture on YouTube, and I never did catch a case from Nintendo, which I'm very happy about. You can put me in pink, black, whatever color you want. I don't care. I have never met a color I didn't look good in. Someone says you have a sister. I guess that makes sense, but I really like hearing that somehow. I do. I have a sister. She's pretty dope. I think sisters in general are pretty lit. Or they can be. I got lucky, I guess. I'm the oldest, though, so, like, I try not to think of them this way because it annoys them now that they're all adults. But all of my siblings are just like kids in my mind. I'm just like, yeah, that's a baby. But then you have to realize, like, oh, this baby is in their 20s now, so I can't treat them this way because it's actually kind of disrespectful. But then it's like, I literally held you when you were like weeks old. So it's funny reconciling the image of your younger siblings as full autonomous adults with their own hopes, dreams, and goals, and also the little baby shaped things that they used to be, that you saw the potential in. I saw the potential. I was like, dang, you're kind of cryy and a little bit smelly right now, but I think you're probably going to do great things. And then they did, so happy for them. And by great things, I just mean survive until age 18. That's a much bigger feat than society gives you credit for, in my opinion. Ugh. Someone says shout out to all the sisters. Shout out to sisters, on God. Someone said you're lucky, my sister kind of sucks. Yeah, I have seen some not great siblings, unfortunately. But hey, we'll take what we can get in this world. Thankfully, I don't have any not great siblings. Someone said, I frequently forget my little brother is of legal drinking age. Literally same, because I'm like, how? You were a toddler. You could not even walk in a... Forget walking in a straight line as part of a blood alcohol content test. You couldn't even walk in a straight line because you were 2. That's how I still see you. You can't be old enough to drink. But that's not true. They are. They can do whatever they want, and they should. I'll support them, maybe. And someone said my little sister just turned 15. I feel so old. Then imagine how old I felt when my youngest sibling it exited childhood entirely. They're just now completely an adult, and I'm like, if all of my younger siblings are grown-ups, that must mean I'm a grown-up. But that can't be right because I am just a little guy. It doesn't add up. The math is literally not mathing, bro. Someone said I'm an oldest sister. I basically had to raise my younger brothers most of the time. It was rough. Yeah. I talk about them quite fondly because it's literally like my heart, but also it wasn't easy being the oldest. It's not something I blame them for, but it has kind of given me a preview window into parenthood, and I'm good. I'm good. Bringing a child into this world and being responsible for their well-being until they grow up into a decent person, I already did that. Thanks. Loved it. Been there. They're all great. They're fantastic. 10 out of 10. Would not do it again. Thank you. Someone said my youngest sister's 27. It's gonna happen to us all someday, I guess. If we're so lucky, you know, I'm happy for them, but also, oh no. Oh no. Someone said my youngest is 28. I'm the oldest and we went through hell growing up, but now we're so tight. Yeah, that's how it was for me. Like, I feel like with me and my siblings, I went through a period of resentment, not towards them, but I didn't know where the resentment was directed. You know what I mean? And then I kind of got a little older and I was like, oh, well, it's not them. And then we just got, closer than ever, which I think is lovely. I think a lot of my relationships have changed as I've gotten older, and I feel just closer to the people around me. Some of them. As I've gotten older, I've also had to just completely cut off other relationships and been like, let's never interact with each other ever again. That's going to make us both happier. And that was the right choice too. So you just got to weigh it on a decision by decision basis. It really be like that. Someone says, I hear people talk about their younger or older siblings, and I remember how blessed I am to have a twin. I've always wondered what the twin experience is like, because I feel like one of two things could happen, even though this could easily happen whether or not this person was my twin. Sometimes I struggle with people when they have personalities that are very similar to mine. Because I tend to do an incidental headbutt type of thing. And so my greatest fear is that if I did have a twin sibling, they would be too similar to me where I would really appreciate and love this person, but they would annoy me in a way that no other human being is capable of. Because siblings are already good at a level of annoyance that you would have thought was impossible, cannot be measured. But I just fear if I had a twin, they would be able to annoy me to the point where it's just why were you just put on this earth to torment me? Or maybe they would be completely different from me. And who knows? I don't really know. This is a hypothetical twin of mine. Someone says, I love my siblings, but I miss being an only child. That's fair. I was an only child for 6 years and it was pretty lit. I wouldn't say I miss it per se, but it was definitely an adjustment period. Definitely had to go from oh, I'm not the only person in my parents' universe anymore. What the hell? My grandma just called someone cute and it wasn't me. Terrible. Someone said it's so fun to rage bait your sibling. I mean, it kind of is, but that's not good. So I would never admit that publicly. I really wouldn't. Someone said I have twin older siblings and they're just like regular siblings, but the same age, to be honest, to each other too. See, it could either be much different from me and my siblings or the exact same. Who really knows? I think the thing about me is I just don't have anyone that's close to my age at all. I'm anywhere from 6 to 10 years older, 10-ish years older than all of my siblings. So there was never anyone else there who was I guess going through the same things as I was when I was younger, which is kind of interesting. I never felt alone or anything. It's kind of hard to do with 3 other people running around. Someone said my sister was born when I was 17. She's 7 now. I feel I felt like a teen mom because I basically had to raise her. I would imagine that's actually one of the biggest age differences I've ever heard of between siblings. Someone said, as a twin, I hate when someone goes, oh, you're a twin, you must be super close. And when I go, not at all, they're like, oh, well, it'll get better. Nah, girl, I don't want to be associated with MAGA. Yikes. Yeah, regardless of twin or not, if any of my siblings somehow became a Trump supporter, I literally don't know what I would do. Actually, did y'all see Anna Faris talking about that? It wasn't about her sibling, it was about her son. Right-wing views. I thought this was kind of heartbreaking, even though she talked about it in a really good way, in my opinion. Chris Pratt's famous ex, okay guys, we can put Anna Faris in the title, reveals clash with their right-wing son. Okay, wow, this is written in such an inflammatory way. I actually kind of like the Daily Beast sometimes, but this is a little bit better. Anna Faris opens up about challenging religious son on right-wing politics. So here's the scoop with that. Scoop is a horribly flippant word to use about a terrible situation. Anna and Chris Pratt, yes, MCU, etc., have a child who is 14 years old. And Chris Pratt, we were talking about weirdo loser energy, is unfortunately a weirdo loser, very obviously right-wing Christian negative. And I would imagine that's where the son's views are coming from. But it says Anna Faris opened up about parenting a quote religious son when she isn't religious herself. Let's see. Do they have a clip? They don't have a clip. Okay, I guess I'll just try to read it. Ferris was saying her son was solid as a tugboat emotionally. He doesn't get easily jarred. He handles situations really well. He is religious, she added with a tinge of discomfort. Are you religious? The interviewer asked. No, I didn't grow up with religion. He's asked me to accept Jesus Christ as your savior, and I told him I would do anything for him, including this, but it's going to take a whole lot of long conversations. And she went on to explain that by long conversations, she meant discussions in which she challenges the right-wing politics, typically associated with some factions of Christianity. I tried to challenge him, like, do you think it's a luxury that you get to be pro-life? He's like, maybe. Or I'll say, what do you think of this mega pastor? That's kind of a grifter, Ferris said, offering another example. He's like, oh, mega pastors are the worst. So it's like, okay, we're getting there, Ferris said, sounding a touch exasperated. Ultimately, she said she was appreciative that he's examining religion the way he is in terms of recognizing hypocrisy, and I'm appreciative we can have these long conversations. I actually kind of appreciated that because I don't feel like you hear a lot of this talk publicly from such high profile sources of like, what do I do? My family member who is very dear to me has fallen into a trap of harmful, hateful politics, and I still want to love them. And obviously I have so much more, I guess, patience for a 14-year-old than I would an adult making these choices. But yeah, that's just kind of been on my mind ever since I saw this article of like, damn, Chris Pratt sucks though. That's scary. That's wild. Wild. But yeah, I thought she was handling it fine. You can't force people to change. And I think challenging them on like, oh, hey, this is a privileged take that you have, or this is wrong, or this person who has a lot of influence in the sphere that you're taking information in is a grifter. I guess it's pretty much all you can do. Someone said, my dad went down the MAGA and anti-vax pipeline, and let me tell you, there's no conversation to be had. Obviously, that's different, but he's so brainwashed, he can't get out. He's 63. Yeah, again, these are conversations I would be willing to have with a 14-year-old, but I would not. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have these conversations with an adult. I really wouldn't. Because at that point, you're old enough to know better. You've made a choice, okay? That's just unfortunate, man. It really is. Someone said, my youngest brother is like this, and my dad sucks as a sibling. It's so hard, and Anna's doing so good. Yeah, no, I've seen it, unfortunately. Not in my immediate family, but families are big. That's a lot of people. And I've certainly run into pro right-wing takes. Yes, even in my beautiful black family. And I'm like, oh, no. What are we doing here? It's so painful. Reading chat. Someone says, I was lucky because I went down that pipeline when I was 11 and 12, but when I got to high school, I was able to just be friends and it just washed away. Yeah, I've talked a lot about growing up, where I grew up and when I grew up. I mean, it's not like I grew up in the 1800s. I mean, I was born in the 90s, but I was in South Central Texas, okay? And yes, even in a blue bubble, it was still pretty bad. But like going to school, college specifically, helped me a lot. I started rapidly encountering many other kinds of people compared to what I was before because I was in a completely different environment. And yeah, thankfully that helped. That helped a lot. It would have been nice, I guess, if I was just wise enough as an adolescent to randomly come to the right conclusions, but I wasn't. So, oh well. Oh well. Reading chat right now. Someone said it's definitely exposure to others in education that will pop the conservative bubbles. That's what popped mine. It really be like that. Someone said, now you self-reported, D'Angelo, you're immortal. Well, I was born in the 90s the last time I was born. Obviously, I've cycled through so many iterations at this point. Someone says, I have weird extremes on both ends in my sibling group. Life is a mixed bag. Life is like a box of chocolates in that you just forget about it until it makes a mess. It's melting in your car. Then you're like, how do I clean chocolate out of my car? I think that's how the quote goes. Reading chat. Someone said, my mother went down the transphobic, homophobic, alt-right pipeline because of her boyfriend. Oof. It's crazy how people will take on their short-term partner's views, even if for its own children. Yeah, I personally, I can't even understand that. I don't even think I'm, well, we all like to think we're not capable of that, but like, I don't even feel like I would wind up changing for someone else in that way. Cause I'm just like, what? Screw you. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. Thank you. Someone said my food is here. Yo, lucky. I'm gonna have some food after this. It's gonna be so good. I don't even know what I'm gonna have yet. Sometimes I plan and other times I forget about food until way past when I should have planned is what I should say. Someone said I would never forget chocolate. Fair. I know some of y'all are chocolate ride or dies. I enjoy chocolate, but it's not my favorite sweet by any means. Have I literally been yapping for 30 minutes? Okay, we could probably get started. I didn't realize how long we had been live. Y'all were genuinely just gonna let me keep going for what, hours? 4, 5, 6? He's not gonna say the number that comes after 6. You can't bait me into that today. I woke up early today. All right, let's see. All right, we got the second monitor popping. I'm gonna go ahead and open the outline. OneDrive live. Okay, I'm sat. I'm seated. Okay, Matt Matthews. Heck yeah. All right, I think we're pretty much good. Someone said it's what we're here for. True. Ain't no way my throat is getting scratchy right as I'm trying to start. But yes, true. I think we do all love a good yap session. Everybody say hello. I'm starting recording. 3, 2, 1. Okay, hit record. You're on TV. Say hi. We need a big popping intro. I want this to be a fantastic one. Also, feel free to put as many pride themed things as you want in this intro, since we're talking about pronouns and gay people. Even bad gay people, because that's also a thing, because people are people, and God, people piss me off sometimes. Well, sorry. It's actually kind of hard to start this video because what are we doing? You're a gay TikTok comedian who is going mildly viral for an anti-pronoun rant that you just randomly went on as part of your obvious attempt to pivot into right-wing nonsense. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to Matt Matthews, farm boy, open, out and proud gay man, and recent anti-trans pronoun hater. And we're going to kind of take a look at the interview incident that sparked all of this, the way that people are reacting, because I feel like it says a lot, and also how, I'm being for real, I genuinely think he's trying to launch like this right-wing career, and I'm just not here for it. Okay, all right. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. All right, no more highs. Only thinking. We gotta put our thinking caps on. Sit down in your thinking chairs and think. Even though there's not much here, I won't lie to you. So here he is. And why is this zoomed in so far? Here he is, folks. Matt Matthews. He is a world touring TikTok comedian, and by world tour, I guess he means North America, Australia / New Zealand, and the UK. I feel like he's missing a few stops on this world tour, but everybody does that. Also, sorry, I know we literally just started and I'm already here to complain, but I do genuinely love how the image for his world tour picture is just this picture, but run through AI, adding a chicken and a goat to really show he's such a farm boy, which is his whole shtick. Pulling this right here. And someone said dollar store, baby no money. Wait, that's crazy as hell. Who said dollar store, baby no money? That's not nice. Anyways, it's not wrong either. So I would love to sit here and be like, literally, who is this? But you know what? He's more popular than I am. 8 million on TikTok. He's apparently crushing it. Someone in chat asked what's going on with this shirt. AI nonsense. Pulling this right here. I tried to give him a chance a little bit. I just clicked into one of his videos and ascertained very quickly it's not my style of comedy. I'm gonna crank up the volume a little bit. Oh, it's literally muted. Okay, take 2.
Are you Mexican?
Whoa. It's so loud. Sorry. I had the volume cranked way the heck up from back, or not back, but last weekend when we did the ADHD documentary stream. Let me turn down my global system volume.
Oh, he's Mexican.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Sorry, the shrill cries of "Are you Mexican?" was not what I was intending to blast everyone's ears with. Lord Almighty, why are we still here? Someone's in my ears. I'm so sorry. Genuinely, let's take 2.
Are you Mexican? Oh, he's Mexican. Bidi bidi bamba.
I didn't take this clip out of context. I literally just hit play and it's like, are you Mexican? I think we'll just move on from the comedy aspect. That's not what I'm here to deconstruct. Pulling this right here. To his credit, he does appear to be a man of many talents. I guess he does stand up, music, and then he runs this like farm chores semi podcast / I don't know, interview style show here on YouTube where he also is popping off way more than I realized. All right, pulling this right here. But yeah, if you've seen one, you've seen it all. You kind of get his shtick. He's very country, very silly, and very gay, which is part of his image, actually. Pulling this from OutClick. Your link to LGBTQIA arts, entertainment, and travel. They might want to update this article. They probably didn't see this coming back in 2023. But they asked him about this a little bit. Interviewer says, I love how you open up about growing up as a gay man in Alabama. What was that like for you? And he was basically saying, not great, obviously, but not terrible. It is what people think it is, but it's what people don't think it is. There were kids that bullied and made fun of you. While I was growing up, being gay wasn't okay. It was a stigma, and it wasn't as widely accepted like it is today. So it was a struggle. But at the same time, I've always been unapologetically myself and never cared about what people thought of me. I worked very hard to be the best version of myself that I could be and do the things that brought me happiness and joy. If you didn't like me, too bad. I don't know how he got from this in 2023 to Googling him just point blank right now and getting Matt Matthews sparks backlash with pronoun rants. Says, we ain't got no damn pronouns. Comedian goes on wild rants about pronouns and gender identity. Something was lost in translation. Someone said now he decided to join the bullies. I'm going to have to say, yeah. And it's equally terrible in light of how obviously he was trying to be an advocate at that time. So, the interviewer said, what advice or words of comfort can you offer to other queer people who live in small farming towns and don't feel like they can authentically live their lives? And he's like, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to live your life for you. People's opinions of who you are doesn't matter. What they say about you doesn't. If you're happy within yourself, you're going to be a better person because of it. I guess unless you use they, them pronouns or are trans, as you're about to see. So the clip in question took place on, or the clip in question took place during an interview, and I'm not going to lie to you, I could have predicted this coming from a mile away. He has all of the makings of something terrible. A random TikTok famous person who blew up during the pandemic over a niche thing. Pulling this right here. somebody who at one point actually ran a podcast himself with this co-host. Pulling this right here. Somebody who was constantly in other people's podcasts all the time and interviews just talking about God knows what. Here he is on Bunny XO's Dumb Blonde podcast, which should have been a sign of the times, but that's okay. Leading to the one in question. Whoa, I pressed the wrong button. And that's how we got here in this Candy Online interview from 8 days ago, which started making the rounds just a couple days ago. All right, so someone said not the podcasters again. It's always a podcaster at the end of the day. You know, people are like, not all men. Yes, all podcasters, okay? I feel like part of that is why I will literally never start a podcast. Something just starts cooking. Something goes rotten the moment you decide a podcast is a good idea. I say this, and I have tried a podcast before, but we're not going to acknowledge that. All right, so I'm going to turn this volume up for y'all. That should probably be fine. Oh wait, I can't hear it because I'm not wearing any headphones. I still can't hear it because it's muted.
Yo, boo. When did you meet them?
Okay. We'll try like 400, I guess, and crank the volume up.
Them.
Okay, hold on. We'll try 500. Should probably be fine.
I only got one.
What? Child.
Why is it so quiet? Everybody's volume is so quiet, or maybe I'm just loud.
You know, these days, I don't know. I got to know the pronouns before I start talking.
Okay, close enough.
When did
All right. Sorry, technical difficulties. So this entire meltdown happens because she simply asks about his partner. When did you meet them?
When did you meet them?
Them. I only got one.
What? Child, you know, these days, I don't know. I got to know the pronouns before I start talking.
We ain't got no damn pronouns up in here. We no. That's,
Okay, well, him.
I got a
When did you meet
tallywacker.
him?
That's a he.
Okay.
We're only just getting started. I'm going to go ahead and try to ignore the flagrant AAVE and just hear him out on this. Maybe he had a bit of a rough start here.
Okay, well,
We don't do all that shit.
when did you meet
I ain't
him?
doing all that day, DM, elegy. I don't do all
Man,
that.
I don't want to offend
That
nobody,
shit's
so
still.
I gotta make sure.
Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? LGBTQI element of P WWF. Shut the fuck up.
Please remember, that is these people who would then turn around and call non-binary people like myself triggered when you are actually witnessing somebody work themselves up into a fury because they heard the word them. And okay, let's keep going.
You gay, you straight, you white, you black, you a boy, you a girl. You got a coochie, you a girl.
Okay.
Damn, I'm finna piss people off with that.
You know you are, but it's
Okay, so we're just hitting all the marks here. Got a bit of completely random transphobia thrown in there, obviously. What else are we working with here, Matt?
okay. I'm sure you done pissed people off before.
I sure have.
Okay, your boo. When did you meet them? Him.
Him. It ain't no them. It's only one of them.
He keeps doing this multiple times throughout this rant of trying to say her usage of them accidentally, and at first because she didn't know his partner's pronouns doesn't make sense because them is a plural pronoun and he has a singular partner, but that's just dumb as hell.
I got
meet him?
one.
When did you meet him?
Him. When did you meet them?
What?
Them is plural.
He's literally so mad about this, actually.
I'm just being nice. I'm
Singular.
just being respectful.
Singular. I met him.
Anyways, I don't care about his answer. After this, he starts talking about him and his husband, who I could not care about less. That is the Matt Matthews pronoun, anti-they, them, and also strangely bioessentialist rant that he went on, completely unprompted. I can't stress this enough. The question was not, Matt, what are your thoughts on non-binary people? What are your thoughts on singular they? If this is actually and unironically how you're living your life, just waiting to hear little things to get angry about, but these things are just normal parts of the language that you speak, I truly fear for you. I'm gonna pull this right here. But obviously, aside from the absurdity of his reaction, just the optics of this man who is claiming to represent the community by proudly sticking gay in front of everything he does. It's while simultaneously spouting out rhetoric that is harmful to other members of the LGBT community. I find it interesting because it's not actually that unique. As you know, this is a cold take coming from me. This is a type of person. Unfortunately, we run into this a lot, or a lot more than I myself would like to. Pulling this right here. Speaking of Instagram, I want the reactions to this right here. And as stupid as he sounds, there is a little bit of a playbook here. It's very obviously to appeal to a certain kind of audience, which results in things like the World Star comment section agreeing with you, which I'm telling you right now is never a good thing. Someone said Jeffree Star. I saw Jeffree Star comparisons somewhere in the comments. Wait, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, no, wait. I think that's on TikTok. Someone said he reminds them of Jeffree Star on TikTok, but we're not even there yet. We'll get there in a second. I just kind of wanted to look at some of these reactions from people outside the community, if you will, because it just shows everything wrong with this particular line of action. Someone said, what is World Star? And for those of you who don't know, World Star is one of the worst Instagram pages to ever happen to the internet. Pulling... Okay, give me a second. Yeah, we'll start here. I'll just start probably with the dumbest reaction, which I saw a lot, which is like, yes, I agree. Because who the F is saying pronouns? This idea that this commenter and also Matt and many other people throughout the comments are saying of like, yes, we're tired of using pronouns. No more pronouns. We don't do those damn pronouns or whatever. This is the part where I, through my sighs of fatigue, must remind us all, everyone uses pronouns no matter what those pronouns are. Pulling right here. Should we go back to grade school and just remind ourselves that I, we, you, he, she, they, if you go by he, him, I hate to break it to you, but you've got preferred pronouns and you likely very much don't want to be misgendered. I'm sitting here saying all of this like, who am I talking to? Everybody knows this. You guys are just acting stupid because you think it's cute. It's really not. Someone said they say we don't like pronouns. Yeah, make it make sense. And then in general, I think part of the reason I'm so annoyed by this is like, if it was just idiotic people in a comment section, it's kind of easy to ignore. But this is coming at a time when people are genuinely launching these frivolous lawsuits all across the United States, literally suing various universities because the universities are saying, hey, if student or faculty has preferred pronouns, you guys should use those pronouns. And you literally get lawsuit challenges University of California policy over pronouns and free speech. The lawsuit backed by Parental Rights Advocacy Group, code word for transphobic organization, defending education, alleges that the University of California policies violate the First Amendment by punishing students, faculty, and staff who decline to use preferred names or pronouns or who disagree with certain aspects of gender ideology. So, like, I can only write this off so much. I think genuinely we live in a world where someone dares to identify as they, and then the organization tries to back you up over this and winds up getting sued by these organizations, which are bankrolled by insane conservatives. It's just not as cute as everybody seems to think it is. And I'm not kidding about this being part of the playbook now. This was a University of California thing that's happening. Pulling this right here. Yeah, take two. It's also happening apparently in Minnesota. A lawsuit filed against the University of Minnesota by the quote-unquote Young America's Foundation, translation, transphobic organization, claims that current policies on anti-trans views are in violation of the First Amendment and Title IX. They should be allowed to be as transphobic as they want and misgender anybody on campus because God or George Washington said so. I don't really know what their argument is here, but it's insane. Obviously, calling anybody by the wrong name or pronouns or whatever is just harassing them if you're doing it intentionally, and we should all feel respected. So I just feel like so much of the legislation that people are like ranting and raging against when it comes to trans topics, which should not be topics, it's just to try to balance things back into a state in which everybody has equal access to feeling respected, comforted, supported, having access to the medical things they need, etc. I'm really tired of 95% of people on campus get to use their preferred pronouns because they happen to be cis, but God forbid someone do this while being trans. It really pisses me off. And I don't even use other pronouns other than he and him, but I'm just tired of it. Someone in chat said, I've always been told to respect what someone calls themselves. Yeah, I think trying to like frame all of this as if it is a rational response, when really it's just paranoia from people who get triggered over 4-letter words is insane to me. Anyways, okay, pulling this next thing right here. Another thing that you see happen quite a lot in this comment section in WorldStar is people saying things like, I respect normal gays, like Matt over here. I don't respect the ones who try to make us straight people feel like we're losing our damn minds, says this random person. I'm so tired. This concept of good gay, bad gay, good queer, bad queer. I like this person in the LGBT community because they align with my anti-LGBT views. This is genuinely the oldest strat that cringe grifters in the LGBT community have been employing forever. And everybody does this in any marginalized community, by the way. It's so cringe. My mind immediately goes to Blair White, who for so many people is like, oh, she's the good trans woman who we're going to listen to her because she's a conservative and makes videos about they made the Odyssey trans and black. They're erasing history, says Blair in her thumbnail. This layer of Blair White, Jeffree Star adjacent nonsense. Someone in chat said Serena Joy. That's a deep cut. Are you an Olivia Rodrigo fan? Because that's a pretty great reference. Very much giving Serena Joy energy. It's a Handmaid's Tale thing. Characters who are part of the system that's oppressing them, but they think by aligning themselves with the oppressors, they're somehow winning against everybody else. I genuinely thought we would somehow get tired of this at some point, but I suppose not. Someone said those same people have no problem respecting nicknames, but they can't handle trans people's chosen names. I'm just going to say it, point blank. I've always held this opinion. Dead naming is so forced. Dead naming and misgendering is forced as hell. It really is. If someone changes their pronouns or their name and you temporarily struggle with it, that is okay. No one should really be mad at you for that because you're making an adjustment. If you mean to refer to somebody and you accidentally say he, she, or whatever, and you meant they, we all accidentally say something. I misgender cis people all the time, accidentally. But like, I'm talking about people going out of their way to intentionally misgender other people. It's so forced. I'm sorry, there's never going to be a case for me believing it's easier for you guys to actually dead name people. No, it's not. If somebody says their name is something, it makes more sense to just call them that. If somebody goes by they, them, then say they. I will never agree that it's just too difficult. And a lot of people were saying that in the comments of this one too, of like, I'm sorry, but this pronoun stuff is just a little bit too much for me personally. Let me see if I can find one that says that somewhere in here. Hold on. I bet I can. I can't find one off the top of my head, but on God, I swear to God, people say this all the time of like, we're just tired of having to use pronouns because you guys are changing English too much. Even though we'll get into how that doesn't make any sense at all. Someone in chat said, same. I had a friend change pronouns and name. I had an adjustment period, but then I got used to it. Exactly. Please. I'm tired of these arguments. Okay, anyways, moving on from that. So we've got the Blair White energy, normal gaze. Oh, also, going back here. The concept of a normal gay is so interesting to me. As a queer person, I feel like I could never be normal. That's the one thing where I don't even know what normal means or how that makes sense as a descriptor in front of this. But anyways, I'm just not bigoted enough to understand what a normal gay is. Someone said my aunt over a decade later says she's still adjusting to my pronouns. Hell nah, that's wild. Someone said all gays are normal. Yeah, exactly. The point I'm obviously getting at here is like, what does that mean? I hope everybody who watches this, you make a stronger effort to be normal gays and, you know, trans people, NBs, all of the above. Someone says normal gay like it's a Pokemon type. Literally, I'm a fairy / dragon gay personally. I might prefer the fairy / dragon type gays a little bit more. Anyways, moving on. But yes, all of this is normal. This dude and his reaction and all these people in the comments are not normal. Don't get it twisted. Pulling this right here. One thing I want to get at before I move on from the we like these type of gays, literally, I approve of these type of gays, quoting it verbatim. This is still bigotry. I'm sure all of you are aware of this, but if you have conditional support for any marginalized group, you are a bigot who is honestly equally as hateful and as much of an op as anybody who vocally opposes all members of that group. There's no difference in bigotry. There's not really a more than, less than, as far as I'm concerned. Pulling this right here. Because truly, what is the difference between comments saying we like normal gays and we support these type of gays and comments saying bring back old school gays? They definitely don't play the mental disorder games the new ones do. All of y'all is homophobic. You can't get a get out of homophobia free card because you're gonna find the worst people in the LGBT community and align yourself with them. This is wild as hell. Someone said there's no light bigot. There's really not. There's not like an ad supported bigotry plan. You are all just horrible and should fix yourselves, okay? Someone said I'm an ice / dragon gay. That's pretty fire. Or pretty ice, I guess. No, that didn't work. Okay, anyways, moving on from the conditional support thing. I had to give an honorary shout out to this comment right here because it was genuinely one of the dumbest things I ever read. And it taps into an energy that I actually see happen a lot, even outside the scenario. What I hate the most is people... Okay, don't say Dolly Parton died in chat when that's not true. That's crazy. Who said that? That's not funny. No! Oh, that's really sad, actually. I, I'm like I'm like I'm trying to talk about pushing back against this garbage in the world, and like we needed more of this and less of the garbage that I'm talking about right now. I don't God, that sucks. That sucks a lot. I guess it was just reported like a few minutes ago. They haven't even updated anything else. It was less than 10 minutes ago, I guess. Sorry. I need to like just wipe my face. I'll be right back. I'm sorry to whoever broke the news and I said it was fake. I'm sorry. I thought it was just like a weird sick joke. But no, you guys are right. Okay. Anyways, like there are good people in this world. There really are. And we need more of them, not less of them. You know what I mean? Um I'm just reading chat. Someone say it felt fake like it was so quick. Yeah, because I think the last thing that I heard about her was just that she was giving updates on her health and stuff, so I wasn't I mean, who was expecting this obviously. Um she was performing really recently too. I feel like she was really kicking it, bro. Dolly Parton was doing the most her entire life, as she should. Oh my god. Sorry, chat. I don't really know how to explain how. This is all just very strange, and I'm just very sorry to hear this. I. This video is literally about. I hadn't gotten there yet, but I was going to. U.S. Southern attitudes and the normalization of hatred within them, and how that's not an actual accurate representation of what we should be striving for. I was literally going to be saying stuff about how like ignorance is a choice, unfortunately, when it comes to this kind of brand. And you could be as Southern as you want to be, and it doesn't mean you have to devolve into making other people feel like less than, etc. So I just feel like when I saw that someone said she had passed away, that just the timing of that just felt crazy, but that's actually exactly what happened during this stream. Okay, anyways, this is fine. Damn. And then I guess I'm a little. It's just so much too, because like so much of the or so many of the things that she was doing, especially recently, were getting so much insane pushback from the government, and like I'm not trying to politicize tragedy. I'm just saying like these are all themes that I've just been thinking about all day as I tried to prepare for this stream, and I'm just really sad about it. Also, she was literally such a good songwriter. We could talk until the cows come home about Dolly Parton's personal life and ethics and advocacy and all of that, but like, holy crap, that woman could really write a song. I think some of the greatest songs of all time she wrote, for sure. her tracks, tracks she gave to Whitney. I just swear to God, like, she was so good. She was really so good. Someone says she did a lot for American literacy. She absolutely did. Just poured so much money into trying to help children read by having access to books and stuff like that. And she was getting fought tooth and nail every turn of the way by people who it's in their best interest to not have illiterate youth. But yeah, or not illiterate, literate. Sorry, you know what I mean. I mixed up. Sorry, this is why I don't react to news live. I could never do that. Someone said Dolly's the reason why so many kids have access to books. She truly loved people. She genuinely did. Yeah, Someone said the vaccine. Oh yeah. By the way, don't forget that either. That was huge, I believe. Donating $1 million towards research into a COVID vaccine, which she then went on to publicly get, obviously thus normalizing what was getting pushed back again. How come for every good thing people do, there's like a bunch of people trying to push back against us as if it's a bad thing? But no, she did a great thing there. That was years and years ago where, like, dog, we might not have even had as much COVID vaccine research if not for her. I mean, we objectively wouldn't. $1 million is not a drop in the bucket. Yeah, no, so many opportunities of using her platform to send really specific messages about people, I guess, and like really loving people. I really appreciated. Someone said I still have some of her maple syrup. Let's go. Someone says she's amazing and I got the shot because of her. Yeah, she was really dope, bro. Honestly, the coolest. But sorry, I'm trying to shift back into I'm trying to finish recording this video because oh, someone said worst birthday gift ever. God, that really sucks. anyways. Someone said my uncle, who is anti-vax, literally got the vaccine because of her. That's the thing that I can't, like, I could never truly explain the impact to somebody so visibly country, embodying the things Dolly Parton does. It's a kind of a big deal. I don't know. I've only ever lived in the South. And so like, that's my only, it's just such a big deal, dog. I would never be able to explain it, but it is what it is. Anyways, I'm going to close all these tabs about Dolly Parton and Jolene and her songwriting and COVID but then like this pisses me off because like I don't even want to talk about you, bro. Who are you? Dollar store baby, no money for real. Why do I want to sit here and talk about Matt Matthews, transphobic, gay TikTok star, when we could just not? That's crazy as hell. Why is it people like this getting attention? It's okay. It's all right. Someone says so don't. God, I really wish I could. I wish I could just skip it, but I did have a point. I actually liked the way I was handling this, so I am going to get back into this. Someone said leave this all in, don't cut it out. I don't know. I will rewatch the footage and we'll see. I'm probably going to cut it out. I mean, don't worry. I'm not going to delete the stream. I think I will say this as a jumping back in point. Okay, so for you video viewers, as I was recording this, I found out live, unfortunately, that Dolly Parton has passed away at age 80, which I'm so sad about. And the timing of that, as I'm recording this, is wild because I was going to try to get into a point about, as a Texas boy currently living in North Carolina, half my family from Louisiana, this is not the energy we want to be associating with U.S. country folk. Damn, bro. Anyways, I'm gonna try to. It was Dolly. Dolly Parton was supposed to be the blueprint. We weren't supposed to be sitting here on podcasts freaking out about pronouns and stuff. And if she got it right, what is your excuse? Anyways, sorry. Why? Why? Anyways, so I was on Instagram. I respect. Okay, I read that comment. Okay, yeah, I remember where I was, unfortunately. So if you just joined the stream in the past few minutes and you saw me like freaking out over news, or we were talking about this guy, Matt Matthews, went on a weird transphobic anti-pronoun rant, and I was just kind of talking about how people like him who identify proudly as gay or whatever, but then will turn around and spout transphobic rhetoric, are just a type of person. It's nothing new. And I was looking at the way people outside the community tend to react to this by platforming people like this and being like, I respect normal gays or whatever. And I was about to give a shout out to this comment for being one of the worst things I ever read. So there's my little recap. I hope that helps. This person says, what I hate the most is people trying to change us straight people. Cisgender my behind. I'm a woman. Where do I start with this? This is actually, as I say, I've seen this a lot. Cis people like screaming, just like we're dragging them tooth and nail. They're like, no, don't call me cis. Don't call me cis. You are objectively a cis person. the framing of the existence of the word cisgender as being part of this trans agenda of trying to change straight people, even though so many trans people are straight. I don't know where to start with this, but these are the kinds of people, Matt Matthews, that you are now drawing towards you like moths to a flame. Pulling this right here. And if this sounds like genuinely too stupid to you to be real, I'm being so serious right now. You can go to the Wikipedia page that's literally just about the word cisgender, and it says right here, Elon and his weird pushback against that. In June 2023, he stated that use of the word cis and cisgender is actually targeted harassment and would constitute violations of its hateful content policy, as he considered them to be slurs. Going on here. Where am I? Musk has since described cisgender as being heterophobic and a heterosexual slur. So again, Mr. Matthews, you're finding your new excited fan base in people who believe that heterophobia is real. And this is what you as a gay man want for yourself. Okay. Also, this is just so funny to me because, like, no, I can't. These people are so dumb, bro. They really, really are. Someone in chat said all the information right at our fingertips. Truly, how can one be so dumb when everything is so easy to fact check and verify? Moving on. Well, anyways, we get the cis thing. Another common thing I would like to push back on that I saw all throughout this comment section was people trying to split up the LGBT community into the good letters and the bad letters. You got the gays agreeing how ridiculous the alphabet community is. And like, no, please stop. There are so many people who identify strictly as gay or whatever and are not weird, crazy transphobes. I actually really hate this idea of trying specifically to associate anti-LGBT rhetoric with specific members of the LGBT community. That pisses me off. There's so many gays who would honestly kick your behind for saying dumb stuff like this. It's so annoying. Someone in chat said divide and conquer, I guess. It's literally a psyop. This is not a real divide, even though people are trying to make it a thing. No. Someone said they want the LG community. You would really think. Actually, speaking of that, we're going to talk in a moment about the whole GLB movement or LGB, where we're acting like we're gonna drop off the T. Truly scum of the earth behavior. Someone in chat said the gays don't agree. The gays are embarrassed for him. Exactly. I would never ascribe this position to the quote unquote gays as a collective. Gay people are people. You heard it here first. And people can have all kinds of opinions, which, as you see, some of them can be quite stupid. Anyways, moving on from this. Y'all really pissed me off. I also wanted to pull this one because I just thought it was really funny. Thank you. Finally, someone with common sense. Let's see if the LGBTQ will try to cancel one of their own now. Baby, I stay canceling LGBTQ weirdos. I don't care. I'm an equal opportunity hater. And you could be part of any marginalized group. If you acted like a loser weirdo, I'm going to show up and be like, why are you moving like such a loser weirdo right now? Pulling this right here. Let's see. You actually think in a world where we unironically have gays for Trump, this being a real, if not fringe movement, I'm gonna let somebody's identity stop me from calling you a mega doofus? It's not gonna happen. This isn't, I'm sorry. People are people, no matter who you is. And you can clearly have the worst views of all time. Reading chat. Someone says you can be gay and be a bad person and it's okay to call that out. Exactly. It actually, ironically, is homophobic to assume that all members of the gay community would actually be good and upstanding people that we should all support, because you're kind of dehumanizing them by deifying them. But anyways, someone said Jeffree Star, James Charles. In a world of that nonsense, I think we should all be a little bit more discerning. Pulling this right here. Okay, hold on. This link doesn't want to open. Okay, got you. I feel like I'm back on track. And since we are here talking about gay conservatives, are y'all okay? Are you guys good? Like, I'm not genuinely asking because I don't really care, but like, are you well? This is an article from MS Now. Who is MS Now? Is that like MSN? I have no idea. Here's an article I'm pulling. Trump's anti-trans crusade is tearing apart the conservative LGBT community. Why is there a conservative LGBT community? I mean, I know I just said people are people, so that would be why. But you are literally having infighting among the community, talking about on Thursday, Log Cabin Republicans announced the organization would limit its advocacy to concentrate specifically on issues of sexual orientation. And they dropped the T from LGBT across its website. In other words, we're an LGB advocacy organization. I don't, you know, I could sit here and react in a chill way to this, but I guess I would just say it bluntly. Do you think that this is going to make them want to kill you less? Because it's not. You don't fit in the Christo-fascist world order of there being a biological imperative for men to do this and women to do that, and there only being two genders or whatever. These people want you dead. They won't be happy until you are. And it doesn't matter how many little letters you want to drop off of LGBTQIA2S+, etc. That will never change the fact that the people you are pandering to hate you. So yeah, definitely no patience on my end for the quote unquote conservative LGBT community. That's insane. Someone said gay conservatives are so attention seeking. It's genuinely embarrassing, and I would laugh at it more if it wasn't actually harmful. Someone says you can't be queer while being conservative. Being queer is very much politically against oppression. Yeah, but these people will say that they're not queer. And I'm like, okay. Which is fine. I don't need to force anybody to identify as something that they're not, because some people are not queer. But these are, we a few weeks ago, actually this might have been a few months ago, time is not real, we read an article from one of these proud gay voices who was telling us how basically the word queer is ruining the LGBT community because it's a form of politics, and he just wants to be married and live with a white picket fence and 2 children. And I was just like, you want to reject the very politics that made it possible for you to exist freely in the first place. Catch me on the sidelines judging you really hard for that, okay? Someone in chat said, it's the I'm not like the other gays. It's very much giving that. But anyways, all this to say, no, I don't support all members of any community. That's insane. And before I get off of Instagram forever, I actually would like to pull up a comment section full of normal takes. As I said, was in World Star's comment section, which was like completely terrible. But them also posted about this, and it was literally so much better. Someone in chat said, consequences of pandering to a straight audience. If I had 2 first names, I'd be begging for a pronoun. Okay, that's not nice. But, you know, I'm sure there are many people in this world who are good people who have 2 first names. Don't let the Jake Pauls and the Logan Pauls and the Matt Matthews and the... I can't think of any other off the top of my head. Sway you. It's okay to have 2 first names. Anyways. Oh, someone right here, by the way, said the fact that he used AAVE to be transphobic. Talking about, we ain't got no damn pronouns. I would like to talk about that for a second. Just let me include this little rant. Since we're already getting so blunt in today's stream, the epidemic of white gay men who act like they have an inner black woman needs to be studied and then put to a stop expeditiously. That is genuinely one of the most off-putting things that I encounter way more often than I would like to. And yes, you can sit here all you want and talk about he's from Alabama, and there's obviously a big overlap between Southern, U.S. Southern dialect and African-American vernacular English. And I know, I am from Texas. I've heard some people talk and they're just speaking normally, and they might get hit with a black sense accusation by a normie, but that's just how they talk because they from Texas or Louisiana or whatever. He's doing cringe AAVE nonsense depending on who he's talking to, and I hate it. Please stop. It's really not it. Someone said, thank you for mentioning this. It's so weird. It's so weird. Please find another bag and get out of that one. It's not cute. It really isn't. Reading chat. Someone says, I'm really curious to know how he speaks to other white people. I was too. And I went and found a clip on his YouTube channel. And I'm probably not even going to put this in a video because it's literally too... we're getting too much into the weeds now, but it's not nearly as pronounced, for lack of a better word, when he's talking to people like whoever this is, Harry Jowsey. But then, God forbid, he sits next to Candy on her podcast, and then all of a sudden it's we ain't and we finna and I ain't got no. And I'm just like, you are not slick. You are not slick. Anyways, moving... Oh, wait, hold on. I wanted to see if there were any other funny comments in this comment section. Wait, crap. Where did my post go? Oh, here it is. But anyways, you know, they're kind of making the same points over here in the them comment section. Someone said, oh, gee, a pronoun joke? What's next? I identify as a blank. By the way, that's funny that this person says this because he has made this type of joke before. He posted on Instagram something about I identify as a horse. And I'm just... The point is it's played and we tired. All right. I tried to gauge the feedback on a few other platforms, and strangely, some of the most based comments I came across were from Entertainment Weekly. I'm telling you right now, I get a lot of EW articles that come up when I talk about things because Entertainment Weekly are the only ones brave enough to talk about people this irrelevant. And usually the comment sections are terrible, but people were on fire actually. Or it just never loads, and so I sound like a liar. Or it just never loads and I can't show you any of the comments. Hold on, I swear to there were such good comments on here. I should have screenshotted it. Okay. Join our conversation. Wait, view comments. No! Why can't I view the comments? Hold on. I'm getting mad. Okay, what if I tried to look at them in an incognito tab? Maybe. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. Okay. We got it. Take two. I think my ad blocker was like messing things up. Let me mute this in case they start playing audio or whatever. Ho hum, another comedian, in quotes, punching down. What makes this egregious is how tone deaf he is to the past generations of LGBT folks who fought and suffered so that he can unashamedly talk about his husband. I was like, are we woke in the Entertainment Weekly comment section? Nora, oh crap, what's going on? Nora from the EW comments is low-key spitting heat over here, and she's exactly right. I think it's so incredibly disrespectful from so many angles, not least of which intersectionality being a core component of how we have been able to advance rights within the LGBT community in the first place. But this is a hilarious place to encounter that. Someone said, guy who quote unquote doesn't care about pronouns loses his mind over pronouns. God, these people are so very tedious. I think the comment that ate him up the most, and I was like, damn. Somebody started off pretty simple. They were like, he's part of this crop of young gays with no respect for what their elders did to make sure he could take the stage. But they ended with, as a member of the LGBT community, he needs to remember lesbians, trans people, they all fought for his rights, and he owes it to them to back them up. And one day soon, his pronouns will be has been, and he'll wish differently then. And I was like, not his pronouns are going to be has and been. I guess I'm telling you right now, don't go start reading random Entertainment Weekly comment sections. They're usually 10 times worse than this. But I guess all of the best commenters came out the woodwork for this one. I guess so. Anyways, moving off of that, someone said gagged. No, they ate him up. I was like, damn, he's already dead. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we did Entertainment Weekly. Ah, yes. TikTok. Okay. If you allow me to peruse the dumpster fire that was this clip going viral on TikTok, you kind of got a mixed bag here of people agreeing, disagreeing. Him and Jeffree Star are the most real gay men ever, and they know what's up. Maybe let me explain this to you simply. If you're a content creator and you actually pretty much blew up after the pandemic and people are comparing you to Jeffree Star, every decision that has led up to this point in your life has been wrong. If somebody said that I and Jeffree Star were their favorite content creators, I genuinely think it would just be time for me to pack it up. I've had a good run. I've posted a lot of videos. It's been a long time. Goodbye. Someone said, I'll never understand why pronouns bother people so much. Okay, so we have good comments, bad comments. I love old school gay. I can't with the multi-dimensional denomination of identifiers. 20,000 likes for this nonsense. old school gay is people fighting for all of our rights. What are you talking about? My God. As a gay man, thank you, Matt. Me and my husband couldn't agree with you more because you and your husband are stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my God. Anyways, I literally can't, just the whiplash of see how simple that is, or the ignorance of his statements is wild. I know a gay man just like him, a regular gay. As someone said, these comments are weird. The kinds of gay people we've always been cool with, getting 45,000 likes on TikTok. Please stop normalizing this nonsense. Okay, so someone said I saw someone say they got into your live after finishing an Asmongold video. That's not true. That's not true. I literally refuse to accept that as a reality. It's not possible that somebody could enjoy watching Asmongold TV, Asmongold Live, and be a fan of this content creator and also get anything out of my content. It's just not true. What does that mean? Which one of us do you disagree with? Like, I'm genuinely trying to piece this together in my mind right now. This is wild as hell. Wild as hell. Anyways, someone said, I'm sorry, but it is. I was just as shocked as you are. Hey, I'm not saying you're making stuff up. Just this very idea is cursed of someone being an Asmongold and D'Angelo enjoyer. No, thank you. Anyways, that's hilarious. I'm scared. I'm actually scared. Someone said hate watchers, maybe God only knows. I do have a few. I don't acknowledge them because I would rather watch paint dry. Okay, hold on, pulling this right here. And then, like, as bad as TikTok was, obviously the thought of looking on X at all is just there's literally no reason to do this. We know how bad it's going to be. I mean, I do agree with this one person who said he's trying to look cool to the people who would strip him of his rights in a heartbeat. But the majority of this was just transphobic nonsense. And what do we expect from Elon? The word cisgender is heterophobia. Musk. All right, zooming out of that. Okay, pulling this right here. But as per this idea, essentially that he is pandering to the very conservatives that would love to strip him of his rights. Yeah, no, he definitely is. Okay? When I was like trying to figure out who the heck this guy was in the first place, and I saw the WWE, don't miss WWE Raw, when Matt Matthews appears live. Matt Matthews guest appearance. Now, let me tell you this. Not all WWE fans are terrible. My mom's a big fan of wrestling, actually, but she does not rock with that weird right-wing energy that people are trying to make happen in that space. So I'm like, Matt, what are you doing? What is this genuinely? A few years ago, you're blowing up online. People like your silly gay farm videos because you are doing something that is actually interesting. And just a few short years later, you're happy to be WWE guest starring, going viral on Entertainment Weekly because you're crapping on trans people. You can't convince me that this was part of the game plan all along. This is genuinely what failure looks like, no matter how much more high profile he gets after this. Someone said the math ain't mathing. It's really not. It truly isn't. Anyway, let me see what I had in my conclusion for this. Oh yeah, I guess I was just gonna drag him more. Okay, cool. But yeah, I can't rock with this dude. He's a coward. You out here on your actual website talking about I'm an unapologetic trailblazer. No, you're a self-hater and you're trying to make it everybody else's problem, and I'm not here for it. Pulling this right here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Take two. In that EW article talking about him saying, I identify as a horse, or I'm not part of the LMNOP community. Blah, blah, blah. I make fun of gay people. Oh, I make fun of gay people. You know what I mean? I call myself derogatory terms on stage because it's not that deep. This is sad. This is sad. Everything that is happening here is genuinely pathetic, and I would have been happier if it never happened in the first place. Zooming out right here, I also would like to say, for real, pulling this right here, of course there's going to be a lot of things for you that are not as deep when you may find yourself as part of the LGBT community, but at the end of the day, you are still a rich, white, straight, het man, and all that implies. Pulling this right here. Okay, here we go. I honestly, on God, wish that slurs were quote unquote not that deep. But yeah, in a world in which Harry Potter is still happening full steam ahead and everybody's so excited about that, and the WNBA is being co-opted by transphobic weirdos, and we're literally just stripping away rights via legislation day by day, I just don't have time for any of this, and I would rather we didn't. And that's about all I have to say about Matt Matthews. Someone said, remember the Gone Girl, Cool Girl monologue? He's a cool gay. It's very much giving that. Someone said this feels like self-hatred. Yeah, it goes deep for real. Oh, also, speaking of those things, pulling... Actually, I'm going to record an outro first, and then I'll talk about it. Are there any... Someone said, did y'all see Sophie Cunningham's post about how she doesn't listen to rap? I didn't see it, but color me surprised. Are there any final thoughts before I wrap this one up? I'm going to have to really try to edit this into something coherent, because I got so thrown off in the middle of it. But I think most of it was fine, hopefully. I don't know. Anything else? Someone said, I'm still scarred from seeing gays for Trump content on Twitter. Dude, they are so unserious. They really, really are. Except they also are voters. That's the unfortunate part. Unserious people who are going to go out and have serious consequences. Reading chat. Someone said, I just got home from the gym. What did I miss? Only everything. Any thoughts on Drew Follow? No, not today. Anyways, I am going to go ahead and record an outro. Everybody say goodbye. I think we've got it. Someone said there's reclaiming slurs and then there's making a fool of yourself. Exactly. And I could only guess which one our buddy Matt Matthews is doing over here. Don't leave. I'm not ending the stream, but I am just recording an outro so I can stick it in the video. Let me drink some water. Drink some water. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about Matt Matthews while remaining polite. Hopefully you never have to think about him ever again. I know I will certainly try not to, but yeah, I actually recorded this video live right here on YouTube, where I stream quite frequently Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Unless, of course, I don't, in which case I'm probably just, I don't know, sleeping. But yeah, hopefully I catch you in the next stream or the next video, and if not, that doesn't matter at all. Okay, bye. Okay. Stop recording. You know, you ever see those comments, and it's like, or you ever heard someone in your personal life say like, oh, I don't think like a celebrity death has hit me this hard since insert whatever person or whatever. I feel like I'm relating to that a little bit right now. Or it's like, obviously nothing happened to me. I'm not trying to make it about me. I'm just really sad. Actually, I'm just really sad over the Dolly Parton news. I really, really, really am. Like, damn. So I was like, can we talk, Dolly? Now I did. I did halfway through the stream. It was when I found out a few minutes ago. And yeah, I just sorry. I'm probably giving like sad sack cringe content right now. I don't want to just start like going on a rant about how I think this is sad for so many reasons. But you know, it's okay to look up to people, and I did look up to her, and now she's gone, which is really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Sometimes I was shocked. It made me think of you when I found out, because I know you love her too. We all should have definitely loved what she was doing. Just so much important stuff for real. But that's okay. We literally just have to, I'm pretty sure, just embody what she was doing is the point. You know what I mean? You really just have to try to embody what it is that you love about people, because no one's going to be here forever. Someone says she was really special. She was. Okay, and then also, putting aside that news for a second, because I don't want to tarnish talk about Dolly Parton with a bunch of disrespectful, heinous stuff. So I'm going to put that aside. I saw multiple people saying it should have been Trump, and you were right. She wouldn't be proud of this part. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm not talking about Dolly no more. I'm just talking about I'm talking about Trump. I didn't read the comments at the time because I didn't want to be I didn't want to it should have been him, actually. Nothing is going to immediately be fixed forever when we finally get that update, but this is the one that I'm waiting for. I'm not sitting around waiting to hear about beloved people unfortunately passing away. I shouldn't be saying this right now. I know this is probably a terrible thing, but I'm just going to use the comments as an excuse. I wasn't the first one who said it. I'm just reacting to people saying that. I had the same thought. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. That doesn't matter at all. This is not about him. Not there. Believe it or not, are some things in this world that are not about him. I'm sure he doesn't know that, but oh my God, it just you can't help but feel like an unfairness, I guess. I just maybe that's what it is more than anything. Someone said the image of the rabbits tapping the pocket watch. I can literally see that in my mind. That's very much what that is. Yeah, no, I want more. I want more good in the world, not less. I think, contrary to popular belief, I know my whole channel is mostly just like, oh, this bad thing happened. Oh, this thing happened, or this person exists and they're not good. But like, truthfully, I would love to see more good things happen and not more bad things happen. I hate when bad things happen. I'm really tired of it, man. I'm really just over it. I really am. Someone in chat said trans identity has always existed. It has. I feel like I finished recording the video, but yes, it's very much not a fad. But hey. What's something positive? What's something positive? Did I write down anything positive? Nothing even seems like that big of a deal. I don't know. I've been watching TV. I've been watching movies. Like I said, it was nice outside when I stepped outside this morning. I thought that was dope because it was below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It was below 20 degrees Celsius, and it felt very beautiful. So maybe I'll just go for a run later today. And maybe I'm not going to go for a run today. I'm going to go for a run tomorrow morning. And I think that's going to be super dope. Bro, that's just wild as hell. Someone said meme of the day break. I probably have something on my phone, actually. Let me see. I feel like I've been in a meme saving mood. Sometimes I will save a bunch of memes back to back to back, and then other times I will just reuse the same few like incessantly. Okay, so I'm gonna check my download. Okay. I have a meme for you. This one's really funny. Well, it's actually not that funny, but I found it funny, and that's enough for me. Let me send it to my computer so you guys can see it. Okay, OneDrive Live. Yes, let's go. No, that's my outline on Matt Matthews. That's not what I want to show you. We've seen quite enough of him, I think. Here's a funny one for you. Men be like, I don't have time for a relationship, and then watch a 50-minute YouTube documentary on salt. And you've got Eddie from the Northwest chiming in like, yo, what's that doc called? I find this meme funny because I'm Eddie in this scenario. Like, forget the meme. If you have a link to a 50-minute YouTube documentary on salt, let me know where it is. I'm surprised we're not watching it right now. It's not just a man thing. I think we all fall into this category, especially if you're fans of my channel. I love consuming useless info. Like, information that genuinely does not serve me a purpose. I won't be able to use it to achieve anything in my life. That's the only thing I want to know about nowadays. So yeah, I found that one funny. Thanks for watching. So I hate to admit it, but same. I just love some useless info. It's great. Okay, tell me all about salt. Tell me all about. Y'all ever heard of Defunct Land? Defunct Land. Why am I out here watching 2-hour long YouTube documentaries about, like, I don't even really know how to describe it, because it's not only theme parks, but it's also just like attractions type stuff. I don't know what the point of Defunct Land is, but I don't care. I'm actually very happy to watch it. So it is what it is, truthfully. Reading chat. Someone said, it's salt, the most common yet mysterious thing we put in our bodies. True. I would also argue that salt is a very big deal, actually. So documentaries about this are important. They truly are. Someone said, I love this. Theme parks are so cool. If you think theme parks are so cool, you would love the Defunct Land channel. Those are great videos. Fantastic content. Someone said the production on that channel is so insanely good. It really is. It really is. Oh, someone said easy topic can be, how do you maintain exercise regime with ADHD? Dude, I commit for 2 weeks and then forget. I convince myself that it's part of my daily routine. The only things that I enjoy doing are things that I did yesterday. For me and my ADHD, I never ever want anything to be new. So I have to set any number of reminders that I can, and basically force things that I don't currently have as part of my routine to become parts of my routine, even if it hurts or even if it takes multiple years. It has taken me multiple years to get fitness as part of my daily routine, or mostly daily, because I just kept falling off, or I would just be like, oh, I don't want to because a minor inconvenience happened or whatever. But finally, I've done it more days than not, and it feels actually like part of what I do daily, what I need to do actually to function. So just pick it back up. I think your goal, your mission, should you choose to accept it, it is not to have an unbroken string of weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of fitness wins. It's every single time you stop, just pick it back up. Even though it's difficult and that's the most impossible thing in the world. I think there's several times where, like, I broke a streak or I fell into a honestly very inactive period, but I've gotten really good at picking it back up and trying to normalize it until it sticks. Because honestly, I'm a fairly active person, but even I have my days where I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Someone said, ain't it your B-Day soon? Yes, it is. You already know on... Oh my God, wow. I didn't realize it was that soon. Okay. I guess it's on Saturday. I was going to say it was in a couple weeks because the last time I thought about this, I guess it was a couple weeks ago. But now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Oh God. Oh no. Absolutely not. Someone in chat said consistency over streaks, guys. Yeah. Fake it till you make it. That is my favorite ADHD advice. And let go of the idea of the fake being a failure. It's not. bad to pretend. So much of what I do is just playing pretend all the time. I'm going to pretend like I am somebody who likes to go for a run until I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I can do that because I always do that. Someone said mine as well. Your birthday is soon too, or is it on the 29th as well? If so, let's go, twin. I mean, might not be the same age, but it's twinning enough for me. Yeah, Has anybody else worked on their last birthday? Because I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be right here on YouTube, right here where you're watching me right now, probably just talking about some nonsense on my birthday, and I'll be happy. It's all right. I'll celebrate it proper later. Someone said, how do you feel about your birthday coming? Ambivalent. Neutral. I'm trying to feel nothing because I feel like that's probably the best course of action. I'm happy to still be here because I have a lot of other things that I'm trying to get done. But also, damn, 28 years is a really long time. I know you're watching this and you're older than me. I'm not. All I have to judge it off of is my entire life. God, 28 times, but that's okay. I'm just going to still keep trying to crush it to the best of my ability. I really, really am. Someone said, I went to the gym and did some BS today. Literally proud of you, and you are going to be my inspiration for going and picking things up and putting them down later today to the best of my ability. Even though, yeah, I might do gym stuff instead of running because I want to run in the morning, but I can't run in the morning if I run at night because then it's not enough rest time. Someone said mine's weekday too, September 15th. Yeah, I mean, technically mine's on Saturday, but that's a work day for me. It really is. Someone said 30's lit. I love turning 30 and flirty. Yeah, here's the thing. There are people, the kinds of people I used to think were old, like 30-year-olds, which is now my fate in 2 years, or people in their 40s or whatever. They made being in their 30s and 40s look so cool and appealing to me, a younger person, that I finally have, like, I've drank the Kool-Aid, for lack of a better term. I've bit the bullet. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to turn 30 because I want to be half as cool as some of the cool older people in my life. Now, again, I can't stress this enough. I don't consider people in their 30s to be older anymore because I'm literally 28. People consider me to be old. But like, it helped a lot having positive examples of older people so I could visualize myself as someone at this stage. So yeah, shout out everybody who was slightly older than me that I used to think was ancient for just being cool people. It was very useful. Someone said, I can't wait to be 30. Me neither. I ain't saying everything's going to be perfect. That's not what I'm thinking is going to happen, but I just welcome having a little bit more I don't care energy in my life. It'll be really nice. It really, really will. Someone said, I'm almost 25 and low key. I wish I could skip to 30. I have had the same thought probably every week at least once since I was 25 and before. Reading chat. Someone said, who's getting called old at 23? Well, I mean, no offense to any of my teenage viewers, but teenagers can be a little delusional about age. Because, like, I definitely was. When I was in my early teens, I literally and unironically thought that people in their 20s were old. Like, I actually did. Because I was a child. So I like getting called old by children. It's just a rite of passage ever since, well, basically you're no longer a child. Because I think in the mind of like a very young person, there's a really hard line between child and adult. And once you cross that threshold, you're old. Then of course you realize like, oh, not only have I crossed that threshold, that happened 10 years ago and I never realized. And that's when you realize there's truly no distinction between some of these ages. There really isn't. Someone said, I'm 23 and I get called Unc at work. Yeah, teenagers are a menace for real. But you know what? It's like, I literally just am like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just you wait. You don't even got to say nothing. I think when I first turned old enough for teenagers to find me old, I was getting offended, not at them. Okay, I at least was not freaking out and beefing with kids, but I internally was like, oh my God, why? But At this point, I'm just like, baby, it's a hop, skip, and a jump until you're my age. I'm over here. Let's say I was 24 when this is happening. I'm 24, and you think I'm old because you're 16, 17. You're going to blink, and then you're going to be 24. And then all of this will click into place. So I'm very much hands off. Y'all can call me old as much as you want, but like once you hit 20, I'm sorry, it's over for you. Like, you're not an old person. There's just not going to be a distinction anymore between the years. I turned 20 and then I was 21 and then 22 instantly. And then I don't even remember 23. And like, we're 24 and 25 even separate years, and then 26 just happened, but you wouldn't think it. It seems like it was a long time ago and also yesterday. Now I'm 27, turned 20. Like, it just starts going like this. On God, it's rough, baby. But I'm just viewing it all as like, what do you call the thing that the plane goes down? Is that called a runway? I have no idea, but I'm viewing it as like a runway for my 30s is what I want it to be. I'm just like trucking along. That way I can finally fly is my hope. I don't know. Maybe it won't be anywhere near that cool, but I can tell myself whatever I want. Is that called a runway? Airplane runway. It's totally called a runway. Okay. That's so funny. I don't know why like that doesn't make sense in my mind. Because the only runways I'm familiar with obviously would be high fashion. I mean, look at the material. Sorry, I'm being annoying. I was like, it can't be called a runway when also runways are things that people walk down for fashion. But I guess words have multiple meanings. Who knew? Not me. Not me. Someone said, let's go back to only celebrating milestone birthdays. Okay, I agree with that for me. For me. If you want to celebrate every single birthday of yours, I'm literally not here to knock that. I will happily celebrate all of your birthdays, but I am tired of my birthday. I'm tired. At 27 going on 28 in 4 days, apparently, I'm very much over it. I don't really think we even need to do anything for my 28th or 29th. 30th, y'all better celebrate. But then like 31, 2, 3, I just feel like I'm genuinely tired. Because it feels like such a hop, skip, and a jump from my last birthday. You're drawing attention to how quickly time is passing, and I don't want that for me. I really, really don't. Someone said, for real, I don't give enough about my birthday. Someone said, I hate my birthday now. Someone said, birthdays aren't fun after 21. I don't think I've had a fun one since 21 either. I really don't. I don't. Someone said, my birthdays is so depressing. That's okay, though. We keep trucking. Screw birthday. I get cooler every year is what I'm telling myself. That's all I want. So I turned 30 during the pandemic. I feel sorry for anybody who lost like a formative time during the pandemic, which was technically everybody, whether you were in school and that was your experience, or you're like supposed to graduate and that didn't happen, or you're turning 30 or 21 or whatever. Like, that sucked super hard. The pandemic for me was like my early 20s. And yeah, I was just inside. The funny thing is I still live the exact same way now that I'm in my late 20s, but that's okay. That's okay. So I turned 21 during the pandemic. Same. Yeah, me too. It wasn't cute. Very much was not giving celebratory energy. Or maybe I turned 22, but it was right around that time for real. Reading chat. Someone said online high school graduation. These were rough times, man. The pandemic sucked. Is that too much of a hot take? I don't want to say something that's a little too wacky. The pandemic was kind of bad, actually. It wasn't a good time, is my current take on COVID-19. Lord, that was genuinely terrifying. And it lasted for such a long time. It didn't just end overnight. And it revealed a lot of things, I think. I sadly learned a lot about the way the world works. Or rather, I learned how many different creative takes one can have on very simple things like, hey, please do this so that other people around you don't die. And people are just like, no. And I was like, wow, I really hated seeing that on a national scale. But alas, what can you do? What can you do? Some people are so quick to forget it, but not me, because that was pretty much it might have been my second lowest point ever. Was right around during the pandemic. I think probably for the rest of the time, my lowest low point will always be college. I got so depressed, it was really bad. But that was a close second. I hated my life during the pandemic, bro. It was so bad, actually. I'm genuinely so much happier. I'm also like looking at this runway page that I had open, and my eyes just keep getting drawn. I was like, pubic hairstyle. Why are the words pubic hairstyle on screen? I guess that's also something that runway refers to. I don't think we can look at pictures of that online, chat, or we're going to get in trouble here on youtube.com. It was so distracting. I'm trying to talk about serious things, and I'm like, pubic hairstyle, bikini waxing. And that's the experience of using the internet in a nutshell. It really, really is. Someone said it completely sidelines my career. Yeah, I'm sure it did. People's careers, their education, so many things. Someone said COVID is still happening. Well, yeah, it hasn't gone to zero. We haven't pulled a smallpox and just completely gotten rid of it, unfortunately, though that would be lovely. Someone said, I just started college. I can't wait for my new lowest low. No, college is going to be incredible. I mean, I don't want you to get your hopes up too high, but I'm speaking good things over you in college today. Screw that. I had a bad time because I was completely unmedicated and also not in therapy. Womp, womp, womp. Excuse me. But, and that was the highest workload I had ever had up until that point. So that's why, and a bunch of other things are happening in my personal life. As long as those things aren't happening for you, you should go find all the good you can. You really, really should. Someone said, I haven't gotten COVID. Please take my magic blood. You literally about to be studied in a lab. You can save us. You have immunity. What deity did you make a deal with? I would like to know. Someone said, maybe it's rose-colored glasses, but I do miss feeling like societal pressure / expectations lessen sometimes. I just want to be stuck at home, and that's acceptable. I mean, honestly, yeah. There was less of a pressure to be outside. Well, we were being pressured to not go outside, which was good, because we shouldn't be doing that at that time. And that part was kind of cute, until it wasn't. That was the thing. I, as an introvert, during the pandemic, I had a really weird wishy-washy experience where I found myself oscillating very rapidly between like, I'm equipped to handle this. I wasn't really going out that often anyway, and I don't mind. You know, staying at home and just chilling is my idea of a good day. And then I would go into like, I'm so lonely. I want to be a person in the world, not a person in this room. I will never be happy again. And then I would go back into like, oh, this is small potatoes, easy peasy. So yeah, my introverted COVID-19 experience was maybe not the exact same as everyone else's, but still sucked. It very much did. It was so bad. Someone said, I have the worst classmates, unironic alpha males, and cartoon level pick me bullies. Yikes. Yeah, the manosphere and its associated ills have truly done a number on schools. I've seen so many teachers online just saying like, yo, these children are terrifying, because they're unironically quoting Andrew Tate to me right now. I hate that for all of us. I really do. Someone said, video games helped me during it so much. Yes. God, I gained so much during the pandemic. It was literally insane. I just would not stop playing because I didn't really know what else to do with my time. I mean, I was working a little bit, but also like, I don't even remember what I was playing. Probably Persona 4, knowing me. A lot of Persona 4, and I think I played a lot of old games. I mean, that game's kind of older anyway, but it's wild, man. Someone says, I got my degree this summer, a year later than my classmates, but I'm medicated and looking for a job. You're killing it is what you're doing. You've got this. Someone said, I think there is a difference for me between not wanting to go outside and not being able to. That's exactly what it was. And I didn't recognize that distinction before the pandemic. because I was like, I didn't even want to go outside anyway, so how's this big deal? But then realizing, oh, I can't, and sometimes I actually do. Oh, it was so depressing. It was genuinely depressing, bro. Someone said, I played Horizon Zero Dawn during the pandemic. So fun. That is a pretty game. I didn't love that game as much as other people do. And I really, really wish I did. Horizon Zero Dawn. But one thing I will never say about this game is that it's not beautiful as hell. Genuinely, such amazing graphics. And like, it's funny because it might not look that crazy to you now, but I'm just telling you, this kind of thing and like God of War, God, these games just looked so nice. And also, my take is games haven't gotten a lick nicer in the past 10 years. I don't... Realism. There's been a lot of other creative visual art styles in games that have looked amazing in the past 10 years. But I genuinely don't think that since God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn, I have ever seen a realistic video game that wowed me. Not even once. If anything, I'm like, oh, wow, the water looks cool, but then everything else just looks the same. So I'm really waiting for someone to like just do my head in with an incredibly realistic, beautiful game. But in the interim, I would rather see more stylized artwork. I so vastly prefer stylization to realism in art all the time. Maybe that's just the artist in me, but yeah, I'm like, please don't give me another realistic game. Or if you're going to give me a game that has realism aspects of it, I would actually prefer it looks like Expedition 33, because whereas I wouldn't say the game is realistic by any means, they're very cartoonish looking characters, it still has such incredible design of like the monsters and the outfits and the color palette, and it looks like a painting a lot of times, which is very on brand, as you'll see if you play the game. So I want you to take realism and like mix it with something else at this point. I don't just want purely, oh, we made the most realistic grass in the history of the world anymore, is how I feel. That's how I feel. Someone said, look up Fields of Mystria. The art style is so pretty. I mean, the name is pretty. It sounds like it would be pretty just off the title. Mystria. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Give me color. Give me character. Give me a unified and pleasing palette. Okay, I want something harmonious and that just makes my brain happy as I look at it. This is giving like Pokemon realness, and I love every aspect of it. I've actually never heard of this game. I'm surprised. It's like right up my alley, honestly. Oh, there's this new game coming out. Chat, what's that game that looks like an 80s anime? Because that joint looks so good. Orbitals? Orbitals. Bro, I swear. Oh, that's not the game. I swear to God, this is currently for me, the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I cycle between having favorite games all the time. I switch them out on like a monthly basis. Orbitals, they basically went to great lengths having like the animated parts, obviously, even the gameplay itself, like, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, it makes me angry. That's how I feel about this. I cannot wait to see this in action. It's this kind of thing that, you know, makes me a little more excited than, say, the latest realistic offering. Even though I'm not a hater, but like, bro, this is so beautiful. It's ridiculous. God, I love it. Someone said it looks gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous looking. I'm so happy. Someone says, I can't bring myself to buy a Switch 2 yet. Don't do that. Don't buy a Switch 2. I'm so glad that you haven't bought one yet. Don't be like me, a dum-dum, and give Nintendo, whoops, sorry, if you own a Switch 2, I'm not calling you dumb, I'm just talking about myself. Don't give Nintendo the satisfaction of purchasing that whack console with no games on it. Now listen. Switch fanboys, of which I am one, they will try to lie to you and be like, we do have games. They say the Switch has no games. Baby, when that console released, it didn't have any games. We had Mario Kart World. I think we had Donkey Kong. Did we even have Donkey Kong at release? I don't even remember. There was no type of Mario. There was no type of nothing. Kirby Air Riders. Ooh, and I like that game. I played it for 60 hours. These are the games that we have to be excited about. There was no universe in which Nintendo should have released the Nintendo Switch 2 when they did, because there was nothing to play. I spent, like an idiot, hundreds of dollars, sat down on my couch, and then was like, now what? Do you know how silly I felt? Now, thankfully, since then, we've had Metroid, even though I thought that was mid, and Kirby Air Riders, which is really good. And, you know, you can get your Switch games like Zelda on there, whatever. They're not exclusives. And we have some good stuff coming out. Donkey Kong's really good, actually. But yeah, they were so foul for that. Where is Smash Bros? Where is a new Mario? Where is anything, actually? Just wild as hell. Someone says I will only get it secondhand. I know there are going to be people who gave up on it. I should have given up on it. I really should have. I've been patient, but I just think that was so silly of them. Someone said I want one, but after I play my backlog and they got more stuff I'm interested in. That is completely fair. Speaking of things that you're interested in, I had the sad experience of being extremely hyped for a Switch game and then my interest disappearing immediately because I realized I misunderstood what kind of game it was. So there's this upcoming From Software game called The Duskbloods, and I don't know if I was just missing something, but I watched the trailer and I was so excited. I was like, yes, tall vampire-like people just doing From Software type vibes. Wait, that's kind of bloody. I shouldn't show this. YouTube's going to get mad. But then I look into the game recently because they start doing heavy promo, and it's apparently like a multiplayer battle royale game. And I was like, oh. I literally felt like Woody, I don't want to play with you anymore. This was literally me realizing this was a multiplayer game. It's not the game's fault. I am just so... Whoa, I don't know where the picture went. Okay, I'll just make it bigger like this. It's not the game's fault. I'm just so deeply uninterested in that style of game that I got so sad. And now I'm actually really jealous of the people who do enjoy this style of game because they get to play this pretty From Software vampire game. And I don't. I want to play this so badly, but I can't bring myself to play with other people. I'm gonna cry, actually. Reading chat. Someone said, didn't they just do a battle royale? Or is this the same one? I know they had multiplayer DLC for Elden Ring. I don't know if that was battle royale or not, but now this is another multiplayer thing that they're doing, which is fine. I think people who enjoy this type of content deserve cool games and stuff. I just, I'm gonna cry. I'm okay. It'd be alright. It really be like that. Someone said, what's From Software? Oh, they're a games company. They make like Elden Ring, Dark Souls. Did they do Bloodborne, Demon Souls, the Duskbloods? They have like a really specific kind of vibe, I think, to them, which I've always really been in love with. And I just thought foolishly that this was going to be my entry point finally, but it's not. It truly isn't. Womp. Someone said bless. Yeah, no, they make dope games. I think From Software is really good at what they do. Don't take me being bad at multiplayer games as a sign that the Duskbloods is not going to be good. This is a user problem. It really, really is. Someone said they're making an Elden Ring movie. They are. Isn't Jacksepticeye somehow involved with that? I don't remember how exactly. Is he producing Jacksepticeye Elden Ring film? News. Yes. What is he doing? He's co-producing. Heck yeah. I have a lot more faith in this than I would otherwise. It's nice to have somebody who would be a fan of the game. I mean, I'm sure everybody involved would be fans in some capacity, but yeah, that's going to be really fun, I think. Hopefully. I don't know. I think I'm that person who is still weirdly not totally pessimistic about the live action Zelda movie. I think like this is very dumb of me to feel the way that I do. I should probably assume that this is going to be terrible. But strangely enough, oh, someone said he's doing Bloodborne, not Elden Ring. Oh, sorry if I got them mixed up, my bad. Strangely enough, though, I just feel like this might actually be fine. I don't know why I feel that way. There's nothing that currently exists that's a good sign that this is somehow going to be an okay film, but it might be okay. I don't think it's going to be revolutionary. I don't think it's going to launch NCU, Nintendo Cinematic Universe, but nothing about it looks that bad. Someone said Hunter Schafer would have been such a good Zelda. That was one of the best fan castings of all time, for sure. She's a very elf-like looking person. I mean, technically Zelda's not an elf, but she's also an elf-like character. But I mean, I also really like the actors that they got for these roles. That's a decent Zelda, and that's a decent Link. Now, of course, my main question is this kid gonna talk? Because I don't really know if I want that. I'm not blaming the actor. I'm just like, are we gonna get Link like fully talking? I know that he canonically speaks all the time. There's some Zelda games in which they kind of imply that you're a silent character, and there's other Zelda games which seem to imply that you're just talking and we, the audience, doesn't hear it. But I just don't know if I'm ready for, well, excuse me, princess level dialogue from live action Link right now. I don't know about that. Someone said, did you just call Zelda Link? They're both Link. This is Link, and this is Lonk from Pennsylvania. Someone said Hunter Schafer as Zelda will forever be mourned. I mean, to her credit, she's still doing great, though. She's getting that last of that Euphoria check and getting cast and this thing, that thing, the other. I like Hunter Schafer. She seems pretty dope for the most part. Someone said it looks decent, but I wish it was an animated movie instead. Well, absolutely, same. I would have taken animated over live action any day of the week. Have you ever watched the Nausea movies? Those are really dope. Actually, I've only seen a couple of them. Yeah, okay. So I watched, I think, the original Nausea movie, which I thought was super great. I mean, it's just really cute, honestly. And then recently, there's like a sci-fi... Well, no, I don't think this is recent, but it was recent to me. There's like a sci-fi Nausea movie. I don't know what that one was called. I don't know how to find it. It's not Nausea 2. Oh, New Gods Nausea Reborn, I guess? Hold on. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so if you want like a cool animated kids movie with mythology in it or whatever, actually I don't really know if this was for kids because it was kind of violent, but anyways, that movie was dope as hell. It was so cool. And then I'm probably also gonna watch, I think there's a second mainline movie as well, so it's gonna be dope. Yeah, I'm excited. Someone said the new Fire Emblem looks sick. The new Fire Emblem looks so pretty. I love me a Fire Emblem art style. I'm not the biggest fan of tactics games, which is bizarre because, you know, I'm like the biggest turn-based game glazer. But it looks really great, though. It really does. Someone said Elden Ring Night Rain was not DLC, it was its own game and you can solo it. Oh, sorry. See, don't ask me about things. I conflate everything all the time. Everything is just one big thing in my mind. Maybe I can point you in the right direction, but you probably am going to get it wrong. This is also why I so not meticulously, but I try to carefully prepare outlines before everything I say for my main videos, because, bro, I confuse everything all the time. Ugh. Someone said, what's the new Fire Emblem game? I genuinely don't remember what it's called, but they in the desert. New Fire Emblem. I guess it's called Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Okay, good enough for me. Accept all cookies. Don't mind if I don't. Yeah, this game looks really nice. I think the art style is really dope, and it's certainly a Fire Emblem game. To be fair, Fire Emblem has never really been my favorite series. There's a few things about this game that I haven't appreciated over the years, but my favorite, by like a wide margin, is Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE. Okay, so I'm not actually like promoting this game. I played this game at first when I was a teenager, okay, but I really, really liked it, and I feel like no one ever talks about it. It's basically Persona X Fire Emblem. So you have all these Fire Emblem legends, right? Chrom, and I feel like Lucina's in here. I don't really remember. And they basically show up as like JoJo stands for the main characters in this game, who use a bunch of Persona like powers. I don't know how to describe it. So it's like, oh, we've got Chrom from Fire Emblem, but we're gonna use Agidine or whatever. I don't know. It's a very, very weird game. And then also, they're all aspiring idols at an idol agency. I forgot to mention that part. So they're saving the world for demons, from demons, but they also work for this agency, and they're like, oh, we got to release our new music video. We have to like finish defeating this demon dungeon so we can go to the photo shoot. And, you know, you gain fans. And the more I describe this game, the weirder it sounds, I realize. But you know what? I think I understood the vision. I understood the vision of Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, and I appreciated the game quite a bit. Okay, someone said the original K-pop Demon Hunters. Literally, they were a demon hunting singing group. It was J-pop. My God, this is J-pop Demon Hunters. There you go. That's how I should have sold this to you. This game is J-pop Demon Hunters, and it's actually fun. Even though I probably, if I played it today, would hate the way that they handle all of the character designs. So let's just throw that out there. Let's throw that one out there. Someone says sounds fun though. It was absolutely a fun time, or at least it was for me. And you know what? I think I played that one during the pandemic. Speaking of, I was trying to remember what games did I play during the pandemic. I played that one all the way through, and it was very cute indeed. Someone said K-pop Demon Hunters. That sounds really familiar, almost like my favorite Christian metal band. Yes, every time you say K-pop Demon Hunters, you must pay Demon Hunter, the Christian metal band, $20. We all know this. We do indeed. Someone said J-pop Demon Hunters, stop. That's what it was. It was really good, okay? I enjoyed it. Someone said, can you show the name in regular font again? Yes. The name is kind of, as JRPG titles often are, a little bit convoluted, but it's here, I'll make it bigger for you. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. And probably the edition you would be looking for is Encore. That's the name of the game. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore. If this seems like a wildly long title to you, y'all must not be familiar with Kingdom Hearts. I think, without a doubt, Kingdom Hearts is the worst offender of game/game edition titles, because you're like, oh, it's just called Kingdom Hearts. That's only 2 words. Well, no. you have your Kingdom Hearts, obviously, and that's an easy one. But then you have titles like Kingdom Hearts. I think that's how that one's spelled, if I remember. Let me check. Let me double check. Yeah, okay, great. How do you think you say this title, chat? Do you think you say it like Kingdom Hearts 358 out of 2 days? No. Did you just do the math? You divide 358 by 2, giving you 169. Is it Kingdom Hearts 169 days? No. Oh, wait. Actually, I don't think I did my math correctly. What is 358 divided by 2? I don't know anything in this world. 358 divided by 2. Oh, it's 179. Sorry, I was so close. Is it 179 days? No. The correct pronunciation of this game, if I remember correctly, is Kingdom Hearts 358 days over 2. Is my understanding. I might be misremembering that from my adolescence. And then it just goes on and on. You have like your Kingdom Hearts, like 2.8 HD Final Chapter Remix type stuff. There's so many convoluted Kingdom Hearts titles. But yeah, I never count on a JRPG to have a normal name. Oh, let me show you some of the worst ever. I actually hate these the most. So you have Final Fantasy, right? Obviously, we all know that one. You have Final Fantasy 13, right? XIII 013. We can do Roman numerals over here. We also have, and I think this is so unpleasing to me. Final Fantasy 13 2. Not 14. And not Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 13 2, in which we stick a traditional digit after the Roman numeral, which was then followed up by not 13 3, mind you. This pisses me off so bad. Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, which is technically Final Fantasy 13 3, sort of. But it's called Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, which is 100% the most confusing game title in the history of the world. I will never, ever understand. And that's not the only mainline Final Fantasy. There's Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2. Square does this a lot. They do not know how to name a game in a way that makes sense to anybody. It's insane. Insane to me. Someone said, I love this trilogy, though. Well, yes. These are also essentially close to my favorite games of all time. They really, really are. If not for Xenoblade, you could never, at the end of the day, make me pick between Xenoblade and Final Fantasy. I'll probably pick Final Fantasy, but I'll be really sad about it forever. Someone said, what's Final Fantasy about? Okay, so here's a funny thing. All 16 mainline Final Fantasy games are about completely different people and stories and worlds, and they, on God, don't really connect to each other in any obvious way whatsoever. There's a lot of other ways in which the games connect. For example, you're probably going to get a lot of crystals. You're probably going to get a lot of intersection between science and magic. That seems to be a pretty big theme, especially in recent Final Fantasy games. You're likely going to get a plucky hero who is fighting back against some sort of incredibly unjust system. That's what Lightning was doing. That's definitely what Clive from Final Fantasy 16 does. Sometimes you get Nepo babies. Final Fantasy 15 was actually about Nepo babies, because this character right here, Noctis Lucis Calum, is on God. I think he's literally like the king, or he's the prince, and it's about ascending towards the throne or whatever. But even at that, this game is really funny. Yeah, it basically is like Dungeons and Dragons character sheet where you roll a bunch of dice and you create your character in the beginning. Each Final Fantasy takes the same themes but comes up with a different layer over top of them, and you get 16 different games that are all pretty distinct from each other, actually. which I think is really cool. I think it's really neat. But yeah, 13, this is 15, but 13 will always be my favorite. And they're just action, adventure, fantasy games. They used to primarily be turn-based, meaning I select. Someone said, I've come up with a new recipe. Not the Ignis mention. Is his name Ignis? Or did I just make that up? Heck yeah. Ignis is a great character. I also like Gladio and Prompto. But anyways, what I was saying was, actually, I don't remember what I was saying. You should play all of them. I was going to say they used to be turn-based, which means you select from a menu and then you go and then the bad guy goes and then it just trades back and forth and you try to manage your HP and your MP and your other resources while, building up your special move or whatever. Recently, Square Enix, the company behind Final Fantasy, they really are so obsessed with trying to draw in what they believe to be new fans by repeatedly putting out hack and slash games. And that is where you press a button and you go like, shoo, shoo, shoo. So that's what Final Fantasy 15, 16 has been, etc. Even on some level, 13 is like a weird mishmash of turn-based slash hack and slash that they call ATB, active time battle. But like, I'm very delusional because I believe that even though 13 is my favorite game, the series peaked 25 years ago with the release of a game called Final Fantasy X. 13 is my favorite because I like the aesthetics and I like the music. Masashi Hamauzu's soundtrack is genuinely incredible. And I like the story, even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. But if we're talking from a gameplay perspective, I don't think any singular Final Fantasy game has been as perfect as Final Fantasy X from 2001. And they have only gone further and further and further away from this style of gameplay over the past 25 years. I have never in my conscious lifetime, I don't remember when Final Fantasy X came out because I was 3, gotten a proper turn-based mainline Final Fantasy game. So a new game came out, kind of, that probably a lot of you heard of. Newish, right? Expedition 33. What had happened was everybody's crapping on turn-based games and acting like we don't want to make them anymore because no one wants to play them. But then this game, it just goes crazy. Okay, Expedition 33 is literally one of the most popular and acclaimed games of all time. I'm not even kidding. This is genuinely one of the highest rated games I've ever seen in my life. And I actually think it deserves it. I had some qualms, but that's more of a personal thing. And from a gameplay perspective, it's beautiful. So what I hope happens is that the big wigs at Square Enix look at how the entire world just fell in love with the turn-based game. And I hope they go back. I hope they go back to Final Fantasy X style turn-based combat. We're already getting little cute things like Final Fantasy Resonance, which is a new game that's coming out, which is obviously, I think it's turn-based. I would be shocked if it's not. Obviously turn-based, but that's not enough for me because as you can see, it's kind of in their pixel art style, which I do think is very beautiful. Square Enix calls this 2D HD or HD 2D or whatever. I want to play this, but I want a game that looks like this, basically, right? But also plays like this in 2020 something. So that's my goal. I really, 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 really want a mainline turn-based Final Fantasy game, and I'm so grateful to, who was it, Sandfall Interactive, who did Expedition 33, for reminding the world that these games actually have utility and are fun to play. Hopefully Square wakes up, bro. You gotta give me one. I've purchased every single Final Fantasy everything, and of course that's deluded me into thinking that they care about me as a customer. So we shall see. We really shall. Someone says, what makes me sad about turn-based games is we hardly get ones that play like Xenogears did. Bro, I just want to be able to play Xenogears in the first place. Why are those games so inaccessible? Xenogears, I guess this game is literally almost as old as I am, or slightly older, depending on which version you're talking, Japanese or North American. But like, they need to release Xenogears, okay? I like Xenoblade as much as the next guy, but geez, man, why can't I play this game? It pisses me off. Someone said I hate turn-based games. You have plenty to choose from. You're not even wrong. That's not a valid, or Freud, that's not an invalid take, but turn-based game haters have so many games, so much hack and slash, so many shooters, etc. I just want crumbs, bro. Give me crumbs. That's how I feel. Please. Oh my God. Someone said not another tab. Oh, what? You don't like all my tabs? Does this stress you out? You know what stresses people out even more than all my tabs? I just be going like this. Shoop. I close all my tabs on a whim. I don't care to look and see what I had open. I reset like nothing. Someone said turn-based is for us clumsy, disoriented people. We're not all athletes. Exactly. Thank you. I don't got hand-eye coordination. What's that? That sounds like it was made up in a lab. I need a game that holds my hand and lets me think a little bit. I appreciate it. Someone said, I'm apprehensively excited for the Persona 4 reboot. Ah, okay. So if you're new here and you don't know what that is, I'll tell you all about that one. That one's interesting too. One of the games I said I played during the pandemic was Persona 4. I was specifically playing a game called Persona 4 Golden, which was like a 2012 re-release on Steam. I don't know why I'm on IMDb. I didn't even know they had games. But anyways, Persona 4 is a great game. It's a product of its time. Okay, it's very much 1,000,000% a product of its time, and that time was 2008. So obviously there's going to be aspects of this that feel like an 18-year-old game. But the thing about it is Persona is so good. In fact, the Atlas just keeps re-releasing these games over and over and over. And I keep buying them. So we have Persona 4, which I wasn't able to access in 2008 because I was 10 and definitely not old enough to play this. And then we have Persona 4 Golden 2012, which I absolutely did play. And now we get Persona 4, I don't remember what it's called. Revival. Yes, how could I forget? Persona 4 Revival, baby. That's going to come out soon. I don't remember exactly when. I don't think it matters. But I'm going to get it regardless. And it's like they revamped it. They've got like all new voice actors. They've added a few new modes to it and stuff like that. It looks really cool. People have a few mixed feelings about this. I completely understand missing the OG voice actors because they did amazing, obviously. But I don't care. I'm just happy to get Persona 4 again because I'm going to play it again. So yeah, I really can't wait for Persona 4 Revival, which I think should be pretty darn fun, and to follow this group of Lord, there's so many things that happen in this game. There's so many things that happen in this game. It's wild. Someone said, I love these streams because I learn about new things to look into. Yeah. Oof. Atlas in general, their games company, the ones that make Persona, as well as Shin Megami Tensei, a few other things, they often try, oh God, and they made Metaphor. So good. They often try to handle like interesting themes in their games. I think Persona 4 has some very obvious and overt queer themes throughout that are explored throughout a couple characters in there. And like, how to word this? It's hard enjoying something that is 18 years old because I do genuinely think that there's aspects they just weren't handled the best. But am I allowed to rock with them for trying? That's how I feel. Even though I feel like Persona 4 is a very imperfect attempt at kind of taking a look at characters who may be dealing with gender or sexuality in these various ways. And I don't maybe love the bows that they tied it up with, but I do kind of appreciate seeing it at all in a game from 2008. I thought was pretty cool. I really did. That's how I feel about that. If a game came out today, I would probably have much higher expectations for how these things are handled. Someone said, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, but it's hard for me not to be nostalgic over it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just giving you a warning for that. If you're going into this, don't be shocked if some of this is like wildly 2000s. Oh man. Someone said it's very funny playing Persona as someone in their mid-20s, but I can't help but love it because of how I loved it as a teenager. I know it's also very annoying like you're an adult, but so much of the game is like, okay, now you have to go to school. There's literally scenes, it's like a 50-50 dungeon crawler plus social game. So like you're gonna be out there defeating bad guys using thunder magic, and then fast forward and the next 2 or 3 hours of the game, you're like, oh crap, I've got to go sit down for my history lesson. I have to go play I forget what sport Broski plays, but I have to go play sports in the gym, and that part makes me feel incredibly old, but I do it anyway because it also makes me feel nostalgic. I love it. I really, really do. Someone said Kanji Tatsumi, my good friend. Kanji's a great character, definitely. Someone said it's very flawed, but as a queer kid who was 11 or 12 when Persona 4 came out, it was wild to have a game take a stab at it. Exactly. They didn't do it perfectly, but the fact that they tried was kind of crazy. Kind of crazy for sure. That's how I feel as somebody who unknowingly was a queer child at that time. Oh man. Someone said, I hope Persona 6 ages the characters a bit. Same. I would like that a lot. They probably won't. If we're being honest, they probably will not do that. But I think it would be great. It would be fantastic. Someone said, I was really into Persona 3 when I was 10. I loved watching my favorite YouTuber play it. It's such a fun time. I feel like Persona is a great series to watch people play too, for real, because like there's so many surprising plot developments and you're like, ah, it's great. Watching someone play for the first time is pretty fantastic. Someone said, and the music. Dang, bro, the music is so good. Heaven, that's that song for me. Heaven from Persona 4 is literally peak, even though it has a lot of songs that are honestly peak. It's great. It's fantastic. Someone said, I would play Persona, but they're all teachers instead of students. Give me that game immediately. A social game in which you're actually playing the teachers and you got to do like schoolwork and stuff, and then also go fight demons. Even though what teacher, overworked as they are, would also have time to do this? But in a video game, anything can be real. I would play the hell out of that. Someone kickstart that right now. Kickstart that, please. Someone said one of the first out queer people I met was a girl in my high school anime club who loved Persona. That's fire. I think one of the first out queer people I met was one of my professors, I think. Which, that's kind of crazy. Because that was a long time. I think I was maybe 16, 17. Here's the thing. I was obviously surrounded by queer people, duh. But there was like kind of sadly an element of you just don't say or draw attention to it, especially because I was running in a lot of religious communities for the majority of my childhood. Lord, a lot of Christianity, and so I wasn't surrounded by people who were super excited about how gay they were. That wasn't really a thing that I was exposed to as a very young person, unfortunately, but all of that got sorted straight or not straight when I went to school. And then I was like, damn, they gay as hell on purpose in public. This is wild. Someone said, I grew up in New York City, and I remember when I learned that other people didn't know gay people. This was the 70s. Yeah, here's the thing. I knew queer kids my entire life, not just counting me as a gotcha. It's just we didn't know. We didn't know. That's what it was. There weren't fewer queer people in the South than there are in New York. I mean, there might be just because a lot of us may move to other places or whatever, but like, God, we did not have the vocabulary to talk or think about this. Because if we did, I don't think I would have been so lost for such a long time, but that's okay. We fixed it. And we were popping off at my school. We had our gay alliance and all kinds of groups and stuff like that. I mean, you couldn't help but throw a rock and it would hit somebody who was probably some form of queer or whatever. And I thought that was really great. I learned a lot. Actually, I learned a lot, but I also was very scared because I was like, Why am I relating to so much of this? But that's okay. We figured it out after the fact. Someone said, I'm 30 and I don't know anyone in real life who is comfortably openly queer. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I guess it also depends on what you mean by like out. Because I worked with someone, and I'm only sharing this because they shared this, right? I worked somewhere, went to work every day, showed up. This person was very lovely. He was great dude. And then months after knowing this person, randomly on, I want to say it was like Pride Month. I think he did this for Pride Month. He posted in the company chat room of like, hey, happy Pride Month, everyone. I'm transgender. And I was like, what? Because like, obviously we encounter many trans people all the time. But like, that was an example of me obviously interacting with someone all the time who was queer and openly. This wasn't something he was hiding. It just never occurred to me. I was like, okay, cool. Great. File that under useful info. So I feel like a lot more people are interacting with like out queer people than you think, but just sometimes you're just not like clocking it because they're not saying it, or it might not matter in that context. But yeah, we just be everywhere on God. Someone said they got to do that. Great for them. Yeah, I really appreciated his message because he was like, he said something along the lines of, whereas I know I didn't share it before that I'm a trans man, I'm sharing it now just in case other people want to share as well. And I was like, that's actually really sweet. I think like trying to create a more inclusive space just by being yourself a little louder is fantastic. It's also not something you owe anybody. It's not something you owe anybody. Because if he just wanted to skate through the entire time and never let anybody know, baby, I would never have blamed anyone. I would never blame anyone for that. Who? I would never. But I thought that it was lovely personally, and it was fantastic. So that's amazing. It really, really is. Someone said it's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. It wasn't clocking to me that I was standing on business every time I spoke to him. And that was kind of a good reminder too of like, you can't know anything from looking at anybody ever. If I ever have one position that I will never budge off of, you just can't know nothing off of the outside to somebody. That's the very outside. Don't make any assumptions. I mean, you can make assumptions if you want, but you better be real open to new information. I can't help myself from like guessing things, but I'm wrong a lot as well. I really, really am. Someone in chat said, as a pretty girl in the South, men have said homophobic things to me, and it's so funny seeing their eyes go wide when I imply / say that I'm a lesbian. Yeah. That happens a lot. When people don't know that you're LGBT, or they're not assuming that you are, and then they start being homophobic as hell or transphobic or whatever. And it's like, damn, that's crazy because I'm fully non-binary, but actually tell me more about how this is a mental illness, I guess. I found myself in that incredibly uncomfy position. I get my own version of it in like, I can never properly explain how heinous the vibes can easily get in all male spaces. Not all the time. Because here's the thing. I don't want heinous energy in my life, so I cut it out. I don't hang around with a bunch of dudes who are going to be saying terrible stuff, but the worst, most horrifying rhetoric I've ever heard in my entire life has been when I'm unfortunately in all male spaces full of a bunch of weird men who are just assuming that I'm on the up and up with them or that I'm down with the program, and they just start saying the most insane stuff imaginable. And it's always a toss-up of like, obviously I have a responsibility to check this, but do I even want to deal with the sudden aggression of like 4 angry dudes who are going to start getting really weird on me when I make them uncomfortable because they didn't know that they were talking to a they this entire time? I don't know. even though I use he, him pronouns. So it's just, oh, people will say the craziest things when they think that they're out of earshot of whatever it is or whoever it is that they're talking about. And I'm really not for it. It's not cute. Baby, it's not cute at all. Someone said, I'm butch, so I was more visible than other lesbians I know, but I was stealth in high school, and Lord, people were way too comfortable with being homophobic and transphobic. Literally, like, people show their entire behinds thinking that you're gonna agree with them or whatever. And I'm just like, what are you talking about right now? What are you talking about, man? So I'm actively masked and white, so people will tell me straight up psychopathic admissions. It's so bad. I will say, being a black person, actively black, if you will, I've never had the displeasure of hearing all white male spaces start talking about people of color directly. Sometimes I've been privy to scenarios like that after the fact. Like, oh, you let me into this chat room, but you didn't think anyone like me was ever going to wind up here. I scrolled up a bit. What's going on here, baby? It's happened like that before, but no one's ever done it to my face. But it can be pretty bad. It can be pretty awful. Also, you know what happened? So someone in chat said, I'm straight, but I've been asked several times if I was gay. It'd be like that. I'm neither straight nor gay, so I'd be getting all the questions. Someone on God the other day low-key tried to imply that I was racist for pointing out white people specific bad behavior. I think we were talking about like privilege basically, and I had said something along the lines of, excuse me, every now and then I feel like white people just get really brave when they forget, you know, that other people in this world exist and have ears and eyes and are privy to the things that they're saying and doing. And somebody on God was like, you're making generalizations about race right now. And I was like, and I probably didn't handle the conversation very well because it escalated to the point of them basically saying like, well, I'm not racist because I would never talk about other races this way. They didn't outright say that I was, but they were like, well, I'm not. And I was like, I'm sorry. You want me to sit here and indulge the fantasy that calling out racist behavior among people, forget white people, is somehow an act of racism because I'm pointing out that those people are white, which enables them to be racist in a very specific way. We're not gonna do this, baby. We're not gonna do this. So I probably should have like let it go, but I really didn't. I got really belligerent and I was like, no, you know what? I want you to explain exactly what you mean. And we got nowhere and I never spoke to this person again. It was a very casual encounter, but like people are so weird. People are so weird on God. I will never understand the weirdness of people. I don't think I ever will. It never ever makes sense. Someone said, but they're probably real silent about racism when it happens. Yeah, it was giving bad vibes for real. Anyways, I have no responsibility to say this, but I think it stands to reason. White people are just people. And I like people. Whiteness as a social construct is a real thing that I literally can't afford to ignore or not be honestly critical of. Because it's not even a real thing. It's not actually an inherent trait that people on God possess. It's just a made up thing that people weaponize against others. And yeah, you kind of got to be aware of that. You have to name it. You have to be able to call it out and refer to it. It is useful from a semantic standpoint. It's not a reflection on all people, obviously. But yeah, maybe it's 2026. Let's use our brains a little bit, please. Please. I need help. Reading chat. Someone said, I think a lot of people don't understand that racism is more than discrimination. It's a whole system. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, words have multiple meanings, obviously, but the racism that we find ourselves, or we am talking as if we're all American here. I am. The racism that we find ourselves fighting here is systemic. It absolutely is not just an opinion. It's really not. If it was, it would probably be easier to combat, but it's actually a system that validates harmful opinions and then winds up oppressing others, which everybody can take advantage of to oppress others as well. It's just very, very messy, very bad. Not good. No. Someone said it's kind of scary being brown because of how people talk about South Asians / Southeast Asians on the internet right now. Yeah, I would imagine. I've seen some fairly heinous stuff. I really have. And I'm sorry to hear it. I think in general, like anytime I see like India comes up, people are really, really weird. In certain places, I guess everywhere in the regions that you just mentioned, y'all really think that some forms of racism are okay. Because why? They're not. You're never gonna be able to point to a group of people and be like, what is this lint that's on my hand? Anyways, you're never gonna be able to point to a group of people and be like, okay, we can oppress them. We can say terrible things about them. No, that group of people don't exist. Let's not do it. But yeah, no Asian hate over here, hopefully. Or if so, we'll just ban you and then everyone will be happier. Someone said getting racist remarks because people think I'm brown is crazy. Okay, that's actually crazy as hell. So like you're not even a person of color, but you get mistaken for one and people think that they're going to be racist over it. Like, I'm not surprised by that. I'm literally not surprised. I just people are so stupid. Okay, they really, really, really are. I don't understand it. Reading chat. Someone said I'm white passing, and wish I wasn't sometimes, but I know how much it helps me in life. Don't be fooled. My first language is in fact Spanish. That's a whole other layer of complexity when people assume that you're one thing based on how you look, but you may be something else or multiple things simultaneously. I would imagine it's its own form of mess. I am certainly not. I'm passing as black. I like to say I'm black mixed with black and probably some other black somewhere up the line. So I feel like racism is a global issue for sure. It definitely is. Well, because if you're ignoring anything, it's all going to come back towards you is how I feel. You can't normalize any part of it because all of it is using really similar ideology at the end of the day, or at least that's my take on it, which is why I try to listen to people who say, hey, I'm actually this, and this is a form of things that you might not have known. And I'm like, oh, damn, I had no idea. I'm trying to be, I don't want to say woker, but less stupid actually, because I find it to be useful, not just in, relating to other people, but then I get to see things like, hey, wait, this is also a problem. And I didn't even know until I saw it through this other lens or whatever. Intersectionality has a lot of benefits. I think it's great. And we could definitely stand to do more of it to the best of our abilities. Some say it sucks being a white passing person of color because people assume and get comfortable. Yeah, no, don't get comfortable around me or nobody at this point. You shouldn't. We honestly strongly need to make racism uncool again. Now here's the gag. Everyone has been racist for as long as I've been alive. By everyone, I mean racists have been loud, proud, right? But certainly they are getting bolder. That's the thing. You guys can't trick me. I mean, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with me, but you can't trick me into believing that it has always been this flagrant. It literally has. And while there's a conversation to be had about it's, I guess, more useful to identify it when it's out in the open, we need to make this uncool again. Y'all should be scared and ashamed to have these opinions. Actually, say it behind closed doors. I don't want to hear it in public. You should feel embarrassed to be racist. I think people were slightly more so beforehand. So yeah, please, more shame for that. Let's just make it so incredibly cringe that nobody wants to be caught dead being racist. Please, please. Someone said it is uncool. Genuinely, it's annoying. It makes you sound like a child. It makes people around you go, what an effing buzzkill. Very much that. Like, it's actually tiring. It's harmful and hateful and dangerous, but it's also just like, it literally makes me want to take a nap. It really does. But anyways, bans for all. All races. I don't care what flavor you've chosen. It's just going to be slamming the ban hammer. I think we successfully turned the stream around a little bit. We talked about lovely things. We talked about Persona 4. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag, but it has a lot of great parts. We talked about Final Fantasy, Horizon Zero Dawn, video games. It was a positive conversation. I really didn't want to end the stream being sad because I found out live that Dolly Parton died. So thankfully, I think I was able to redirect this a little bit. So I hope this was slightly lovely. I'm going to go back and watch the footage, and I'm pretty sure I was coherent enough to get a video out of tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to leave you with that today. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.